live NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing coming your way from the Talladega Superspeedway for this weekend's running of the round of 8 second race for the NASCAR Truck Series playoffs in the year 2025. It's the Love's RV Travel Stop 225, a shortened distance for this year's truck race at Dega in the playoffs compared to most, 25 miles less in length than we would usually see a 250-mile event here for the standalone race at this Alabama Super Speedway for this series. Gio Ruggiero, the rookie, on the front row, and in fact starting on the pole in this one. Corey Heim, who just came in off his 10th win of the season in the last race 2 weeks ago at the Charlotte Roval, breaking the all-time record for the most wins in a single season set by Greg Biffle back in 1999. Corey Heim looking for win number 11 today with 3 races to go in the season. Obviously a shot to get to 13. He is locked into the championship 4. As for the other drivers in the field that are battling for the championship, 7 drivers will be going for the final 3 spots over the next 2 weeks at Talladega today and Martinsville next weekend, leading into the championship finale at Phoenix. National Anthem is set to begin. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. I'll let you listen in to the Fox booth during the anthem.
Here to offer today's invocation from Motor Racing Outreach, President and Senior Chaplain Billy Molden.
Heavenly Father, as we rise up, Lord, to pray, we just want to recognize your presence in our life. Father, the faith, hope, and love that you have for all of us. Lord, we just pray for these drivers, teams, officials today, Lord. We ask you to watch over everybody. Give everybody a safe day of racing, Lord. And for all the fans that are here in attendance, Lord, great time and great memories. Father, as we recognize our nation, Lord, we also want to remember those both at home and abroad that are defending our freedom. Lord, be with them. Keep them safe. Father, may your peace and your presence surround us all. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the Hartselle High School Choir.
All right, it is almost time to get ready for these drivers to strap themselves into what will be rocket ships this weekend at Talladega Superspeedway / drafting style racetrack. One of the more dangerous racetracks in NASCAR. I always call it the biggest, baddest track in NASCAR, especially today. And about to watch some fun racing along with it. Pixel, Eat It, Mark Guest, Dean Tate, Wade, Shane Richards, Bam Hall, welcome to the stream, everybody. You guys are the first in the chat below. Appreciate you tuning in for the NASCAR 25 stream that took place moments before the start of the second and final stream of this Friday afternoon. Our first live commentary stream of the weekend will be live for NASCAR Cup practice and qualifying, or I should say just qualifying, no practice this weekend across the top 3 series. But qualifying will be live tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on the channel, followed by the Xfinity Series race at 4 p.m. And then on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern will be live for the NASCAR Cup Series race which will be taking place at Talladega, of course. Jojo, also welcome into the stream. If you're wondering for visual purposes where you can watch today's race, Fox is where you can watch it. Again, your local Fox affiliate broadcasting today's Craftsman truck race at Talladega. Connor Burke, welcome to the stream. Jason M. White for the win at Talladega. That would be a bold pick. If you're in the field, you got a shot, though. That's usually the case when it comes to super speedway racing across the top 3 series in NASCAR. And this is going to be a wide open race for many. Corey Heim locked into the championship 4 with a win in the first race of the round at the Charlotte Roval. Obviously, record-breaking win as he gets his 10th of the Truck Series season. And with 3 races to go, 2 in the round of 8, this is the way the point standings will shape up behind Heim. Tyler Ankrum and Daniel Hemrick both 2 points above the cut line as they enter today's race. Raja Kruth +1, -1 for Lane Riggs. Ty Majeski -2, -4 for Grant Enfinger and Caden Honeycutt. Only 6 points separating 2nd through 8th in the playoff standings. It is going to be tight, and obviously a lot to lose here at Talladega here today. Don't want to put yourself in a must-win situation going into Martinsville, especially when you consider the fact that we've seen pretty much the same 2 or 3 drivers win all season. Of the playoff drivers on the year, obviously 13 wins separates Lane Riggs and Corey Heim from the rest of the field. Wouldn't want to have to bank on getting a race win. A lot of winless drivers, nonetheless, that are still in the playoffs. Enfinger, Majeski, Honeycutt have yet to get their first win of the year. Hemrick actually did win at Martinsville back in the spring. Ankrum with a win at Rockingham, and Kruth had a win, I believe, at the Kansas Speedway, if I remember correctly. Nashville, excuse me. Nashville for Raja Kruth. So that's the point standings. We'll go through the starting lineup for today's race in a few moments. We'll get the Command to Fire engines first. And in the Fox booth, Jamie Little, Brad Keselowski, and Michael Waltrip. I haven't seen Brad in the booth for a truck race in a minute. Usually it's been Logano and Harvick alongside Jamie Little the last few weeks. Michael Waltrip obviously back. Looks like they're in the Charlotte studios, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of surprised considering that Brad hasn't made the trip out there yet. Must be going out late tonight, early tomorrow morning before qualifying. Most of the team's personnel already at the racetrack for the Cup weekend, despite the fact that they don't have cars hitting the track for the first time until tomorrow. This week should be good racing. I would expect it as well. Always expected when going to Talladega. Who do I have picked for the win today? I'm actually going to take the pole sitter, Gio Ruggiero. He was very fast in the Super Speedway at Daytona at the start of the season. I believe he ended up finishing in the top 3 in his first ever race in the Truck Series. I know he didn't make the playoffs, but teammate to that of Corey Heim, he led some laps. Give me Gio. First career win. We've seen a lot of first career wins in the Truck Series come right here at Talladega in recent years. Would not be shocked if we continue that trend today, and especially upset winners in this race. More upset winners, it seems like, with the truck race at Talladega in the fall compared to Xfinity and Cup. Spencer Boyd, Tate Fogelman have gotten wins in recent years. Matt DiBenedetto, his only career win in the Truck Series came here 2 years ago.
Talladega Super Speedway. Give a big NASCAR welcome to the Senior Director of Hospitality and RV Operations for Love's RV Stop, Jim Wheeler. He is here today to say the most famous words in motorsports. Take it away, Jim.
Drivers,
Start your engines!
"36 trucks are ready to go."
Yes, sir. 20 laps in stage 1 today, another 20 laps for stage 2. Final stage will be 45 laps, and that will be the, of course, stage lengths for today's race. They will not have to pit for fuel purposes in stage 1 or stage 2, but stage 3 being 45 laps, going to be on the brink of that fuel window by the time that comes around. My pick for today's race win, Gio Ruggiero, will be starting on the pole for this event. Ty Majeski outside of row number 1. He's one of the drivers below the cut line entering the day alongside Gio on the front row. And row 2 will be Corey Heim, the series points leader. And again, 10 wins on the year now for Corey and potentially counting. Matt Crafton in his final season might be his last shot at a real race win here today. We'll see if Crafton can get it done. Caden Honeycutt with Luke Fenhouse make up row number 3. A lot of ThorSport trucks great in qualifying earlier. We'll see how they perform in the race. And Honeycutt, one of the 4 drivers below the cut line entering today's event. Ben Rhodes and Tyler Ankrum will make up row number 4. Brett Holmes will be in row number 5 alongside Tanner Gray, his teammate. In row 6 will be Raja Karuth and Dawson Sutton. Chris Wright with Connor Mosack, couple rookies back in row 7. Row 8 for Grant Enfinger and J.J. Yaley in the Spire number 7 truck today. Daniel Hemrick with Corey LaJoy in row number 9. Look out for LaJoy, great super speedway racer in the Cup Series. We'll see how that translates to trucks. Spencer Boyd with Bailey Curry in row 10. Row 11, another great super speedway racer, Parker Kligerman, substitute win in the Xfinity race in Daytona a few weeks ago. A couple months ago now, but we'll see how he does in this race today. He also crossed the start-finish line first at Daytona, despite getting DQ'd with the race win later. Obviously didn't get to keep the win, but that 75 truck should be strong. Andres Perez alongside Kligerman in row 11. Row 12, Matt Mills and Jack Wood. Chandler Smith, Jake Garcia, row 13. Tyler Tomasi, Frankie Muniz back after a broken wrist. Muniz back in the race truck this weekend. Josh Reaume and Tony Breidinger in row 15. Deeper in the field, Nathan Bird and Norm Benning. In row 16, Jason M. White, Greg Van Ulst. Row 17, Lane Riggs, Caleb Costner rounds out the field in row 18. Going to be fun to watch Riggs go from the back and try to make his way to the front in the early going. So it does show the point standings as they run coming into the race today. And this would be based off the qualifying positions. So we might have to look at that metric as the race progresses. But for right now, the start of the race, points are scrolling across the top of the screen as to how the standings look like entering the race today. Jackson Robinson, welcome back. Arena Sayre, thanks for tuning in. All are the first in the chat down below. Well, Friday afternoon, Craftsman truck racing from Talladega. No lights at the racetrack, but we should get done with this race well before darkness today. And again, a shortened race length compared to years past. 85 laps, 225 miles, compared to the 94 laps, 250 miles we usually see.
Look forward to seeing you race here today.
Grant Enfinger getting caught up to by the Fox booth.
Drivers to win at Talladega. We're looking at you now, just 4 points below the cutoff line, and wonder, can you do it again? What's it going to take to win for Grant today?
I think, Brad, it's making no mistakes on my end or limiting my mistakes anyway. But the big part of it is trying to control what I can control. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's out of our hands here at the Speedway race, but there's a lot that's in our hands. So, do the best we can to optimize that. You're one of those guys, I like you, Brad. I love coming to these places. We're trying to just make the most of the opportunity we have.
Well, we can't wait to watch you, Grant. You got a great mentality. Good luck today.
The local
Thank you, guys.
starting 15th.
Fair Hope, Alabama, that man.
Hope is a strategy. That's what we said earlier. Michael, what do you say we dial up Parker Kligerman? He'll start in the back of the field as well. And he knows how to get around this place. We talk about Parker every day. It doesn't matter what he's racing, right? Around these drag tracks, he finds his way to the front. So curious to hear. They had great speed earlier, Michael. He had a problem with steering, had to drop to the rear.
Let's see if we can hunt Grant, or excuse me, Parker up. Parker Kligerman, Michael Walter, Brent Keselowski, and the Fox team. Do you copy? Pickers. He's got Pickers inside of his truck, but I don't think he's picking up Michael Waltrip. Let's try again. Parker Kligerman, Michael Waltrip, and the Fox team. Do you copy?
Hey, Michael, you're on the wrong channel. We use channel 2.
Well, darn. Maybe we can switch that up. Hey, Parker Kligerman. Craftsman, Pickers truck. All right, Parker, it's Waltrip. Do you copy? I'm trying to get a hold of you, buddy.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Well, you're a winner. You've won here before in a truck. Heck, you've won a couple times this year. I can't find it in the record book, so tell me about your day today.
Why would you even say that?
Thanks for reminding me, bud.
Yeah, that was terrible.
We identified ourselves on truck at some point. We got a little work to do there, but, we usually be asking for need and utilize the drivers to try to find the right partners to get us there. But overall, it's just being aggressive, going the whole time, going as hard as you can, and hopefully when it comes down the red zone, those last 5 or so laps are in the mix, so we can make the right move. So chicken flag first. We'll take.
It's going to be a wild day and really going to be fun to watch you drive along. Hope your steering's better. You go get them today.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks to Baker's Podcast. God bless you, and ever make this possible. Let's fun.
Let's have some fun, Brad. That's what we're going to do, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah, Talladega is
I don't know why you would remind a driver of getting disqualified at the last super speedway race that you're running just moments before they're supposed to go green to start the next race. Never really good timing for that. This is probably one of the worst times for it. All right. Just over 30 people in the chat here in the early laps of this stream. Early minutes, really. Haven't even gotten any laps underway. Not at speed, just the pace laps at the start. Our like goal will be 50 likes for today's live commentary stream for the Craftsman Truck Series. Obviously being an early Friday set of action for us. Many of you may be just getting off of school, at work, or getting home for work for the weekend. Enjoy your weekend and appreciate you tuning in. NCS Severe Crash Prediction Center. Welcome to the stream. Should be interesting. It will be. It will be. Probably going to be a 2-stop race for most of these teams for fuel. Probably could make it to the end of stage 2 without having to pit at the end of stage 1. With the caution laps that we'll see at the stage end, it'd be a bit risky. In the event that we catch any more cautions, there are drivers that are going to try to keep track position and maybe go for a 1-stop strategy rather than 2. But again, a bit on the riskier side. The 7 drivers who are still gouging for a championship for spot, 3 spots remaining. They're going to be going hard from the get-go, trying to get all the stage points they possibly can. Those playoff drivers of the race today, Ty Majeski starting in 2nd, Corey Heim starts in 3rd, Caden Honeycutt will begin the race in 5th, Tyler Ankrum rolls off 8th, Raja Karuth in 11th, Grant Enfinger 15th, Daniel Hemrick 17th, and the last of the playoff drivers, 35th, Lane Riggs. AJ Summers, welcome to the stream. Kind of hope it's not going to be a high win today. I'm predicting his teammate. I'm taking Gio Ruggiero for the win. We'll see how he does. It's a bold pick. Can't say I've taken Ruggiero all season. You can vote for who you think is going to win the race today in our chat poll. That will stay open until the end of stage 2, per usual. And as of right now, of the 37 current votes, 46% of you taking somebody other than Heim, Riggs, or Majeski for the win. Heim at 32%, Lane Riggs at 14% of the votes, and 8% taking Ty Majeski. 33 degrees of banking here at Talladega Superspeedway in the corners. Front stretch through the tri-oval at 16.5. Back straightaway a flat 2 degrees. 2.66 mile racetrack. Again, the biggest, baddest track in NASCAR. And I'm all here for it. They'll be getting the green flag this time by. We'll get this race ready and rolling. Get the chat back up on my phone. JB, the PA Motorsports Fan 05, welcome to the stream. How long to the green flag? Any second now. Pace truck will actually be headed to pit road as I speak. Obviously, we all well know as NASCAR fans that the start-finish line will be at the end of the front stretch, 2/3 of the way down. So the field is right now getting into the tri-oval. Gio Ruggiero about to launch out of the restart zone with his teammate Corey Heim right on his back bumper giving him a push. Green flag is in the air. We're underway in the round of 8 playoff race for the Craftsman Truck Series at Talladega. ThorSport trucks in that outside lane occupying the first 3 rows, but Crafton did not launch well to get to the back bumper of his teammate Ty Majeski, give him the push needed. So instead, it's the Tricon Grudge duo of Ruggiero and Heim leading the way up off of turn 2. And now Crafton locking bumpers with his teammate Majeski. Same to be said at the front of the lower line by Heim and Ruggiero. Caden Honeycutt in third right there with him, and Ben Rhodes, the other ThorSport truck, on the inside, 4th truck back. Does he move up in front of his teammates? Does it look like he's going to do so? Despite ThorSport qualifying as well as they did with 3 cars up in the top 5, 4 of them in the top 4 rows. They are slipping back in a hurry. Majeski maybe not a great lead truck. Our pole sitter Gio Ruggiero going to lead lap 1. Down the back straightaway, the outside lane losing numbers. That same line that those 3 ThorSport trucks were in those front 3 rows at the start of the race. Now only have 5 trucks in that line. A third line has formed on the outside also with about 5 race trucks, and they have all fallen well outside the top 10 positions. Single file line on the double yellow being led by Ruggiero at the end of lap number 2 and the early going of today's race.
Brad, seeing that bottom lane dominant, then what we will see as this stage progresses, somebody back 3rd or 4th in that lane grabs that stage win. So there's going to be a lot of maneuvering as you see Lane Riggs really on the back of Gray in that 15 truck. They just can't make any progress up there right now. The guy we talked to that started in the rear, Parker Kligerman, he's joining this push now. See if he can make anything happen up there.
Followed him.
Big gaps there, so that it's going to be really hard for them to make any ground if those gaps form. Let's just get it back up and try again.
See the scoring pylon on the left. Green means he has advanced. Corey Heim has advanced to the championship round in 2 weeks. The yellow highlighted drivers are the other playoff drivers trying to punch their ticket to the championship.
And every one of those other playoff drivers are green with envy about Corey House.
And that's why we chose that.
I think that's why we did that. Let's go with this thing. Being reporting playing Talladega. This is really tense racing right now with this outside line trying to make that progress. You see a late move onto the outside there, trying to get in front of Chandler Smith. Chandler wasn't having any of it.
Because Chandler's going to bring that outside line ahead of it. Brandon Fair's going to pull up. He sees that coming. He's going to try to get a little bit of energy charged up here to make a little. 7, 8, 9 plays. Contact.
Already got a crash.
Multiple trucks there could not avoid him. Caution is out, lap number 4 for one of our playoff drivers. Last year's winner. A lot of damage.
That did not take long.
That's a tough way to start your day at Talladega. Qualified 7. Like you said, in the playoffs, he was sitting 7th in the point standings. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue after this, Michael. Let's see what happens here. Is there going to be a push gone wrong here from Chandler? Yeah, I think Chandler was getting a push from Tanner Gray. Wow, Chandler did a heck of a job hanging onto that truck. And
Majeski. I can't tell if Majeski got any of that or if he was able to avoid Grant.
It looked like he got by without any contact. Let's see it. That's the push right there. You said it, Brad. Push from behind on Chandler Smith sent Grant around, and Majeski's definitely got damage on the left front. We have to get down to pit road and follow that one.
Yep.
Luke Fenhouse had a lot of speed earlier. His truck doesn't look too bad there in the 66. Here's another look.
Wow. All the ThorSport trucks got caught up in that one. No, that's what you really hate to see as a team owner. You know, we were talking earlier, the pushes will just get crazier and crazier. And then there's just times when it's unavoidable. It just looked like that when Chandler had so much momentum from getting pushed from behind. Watch what happens to Grant Chance. I don't think Jake Garcia had any idea what you can't see through the other trucks, and he was just right in the middle of that swarm.
Grant Enfinger makes it down pit road as they take a look, as well as Ty Majeski. There is some damage there on the left. Caution here for the first time today for this incident involving 2 trucks.
Yeah, it did not take long. Caution is out on the 3rd lap of today's race, taking out a playoff driver of Grant Enfinger, another with damage, Ty Majeski, following this crash in the tri-oval. Gio Ruggiero has led the first few laps of the race from the pole, obviously ahead of the mess that took place in the mid to back of the pack. Enfinger came into the day sitting 4 points below the cut line as a 7 seed. Obviously, no stage points today. Going to be very, very costly. Actually, take a look at the playoff standings as they run. And as you can see, with getting involved in the incident, Grant Enfinger is 32 points below the cut line. He will be done for the day. So 33 below the cut line now as that updates lap over lap. Ty Majeski minus 28. I do believe he'll be able to continue, but also with damage. Let's see how it works itself out. Did not take long for the incident to take place, I can tell you that much. And usually when we see early cautions at a track like Talladega, kind of sets the tone for how the rest of the race is going to go majority of the time. We'll just have to wait and see how this is all going to pan itself out. Tim Brown, welcome to the stream. Quite a bit of a nose job on that left front for Majeski. Bear Bond all over the place. Lane Riggs just came into the pits.
Pit road. So guys, these incidents, we see this Oh, so often, Brad, and you wonder, you guys mentioned the 15 of Tanner Gray.
But it looked like when we go to the replay, one more time, we'll have to see if we can confirm this, but it looked like maybe Tanner Gray, Michael, was pushing Chandler Smith, and they just caught Grant Enfinger at the wrong time on the exit of this corner. And you can see they made contact twice with Grant. He really had no chance.
I'm not sure. The 15 actually got him the back of I thought he did it first, but I think that when Grant moved up, Chandler just had to react. And I don't know for sure whether the 15 hit the back of the 38 or not. Let's drop in on his radio and see what he thinks.
Not in the back of him, he got left side.
And you can see there on that left front, Brad, that's something they probably should come to pit road and look at. That fender rub and put him right back on pit road if they don't address it now.
Yeah, a lot of guys have been pitting during this sequence. We haven't had a chance to catch up with all of it, but this puts them in the fuel window to where you can make it through the end of stage 2. So a lot of guys are going to pit here and then probably stay out for the next stage.
Yeah, we heard Todd go down talk about various strategies. I've been texting back and forth with crew chiefs. It's all over the place. So this caution flag does put people in their window to go to the end of stage 2 and make that maybe be the only other stop of the day. Well, until that point.
Yeah, I think Todd's got a little bit more information on Grant Enfinger. What do you got down there, Tom?
Standing here looking at this truck when it came in, you know, the left front headlight area is what's bashed in pretty hard. Now, this sounds a little crazy maybe, but if that headlight doesn't cave back in, I'm not so sure that it's not going to help this truck speed-wise, because the actual edge of the fender is in, which we know the further out that edge, the more drag the truck has, the slower it goes. So Ty's going to be okay. It's going to be interesting to see how fast this truck actually can be.
You know, it's funny you said that, Ty. Me and Bradford off their break. I said, I believe this truck can definitely run second. They didn't do enough damage where I don't know that he can lead this race, but when you get that close to the front, but I agree, Todd. I think he's in a pretty good spot considering the bind that he was in.
So Majeski's still in it. Enfinger, on the other hand, is not. He's rolled back in the garage area right now. It looks like his day will most likely be over.
Oh,
Hit that for Grant.
truck looks like a modified.
From here a year ago, guys, he won the race here, and that punched his ticket to the championship. Now he finds himself in the garage.
What a tough race to have so early on, too.
Well, Fox College Football Friday is under the lights in prime time. Dylan Raiola leads 25th ranked Nebraska against Minnesota. That's tonight at 8 Eastern on Fox. A lot of football network all weekend long. We're excited to kick things off this weekend with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Things happen quick at Talladega. We talk about it all the time. And this incident coming out on lap number 4. But up front, guys, not a lot has changed. Gio Ruggiero minding his own business.
There's no time. We're about to re-rack him and come back to up speed.
Jason said things happen quicker at Talladega. Let's just re-rack it and go again.
Yes. It's interesting. This time looks like with a little bit of switch up, Korheim decided to stay behind his teammate.
So that move to 99 of Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, so the first 3 trucks all picked the bottom lane. The 4th one in the choose. Ben Rhodes, he picked them.
And that's interesting because the Thorsport trucks together couldn't make the outside work on that initial start for the first 3 laps before the caution, while the top few lanes on the bottom, really the entire bottom lane, just moved forward. And a cohesive unit, not a lot of line changing. Great with the pushes at the front of that line by Corey Heim to his teammate Gio Ruggiero. And to the restart, here we go. Heim couldn't stay in touch with the 17 truck that time through turns 1 and 2. Ruggiero, the rookie, moves up in front of Rhodes to throw a block right off the exit of turn 2. Slow the momentum down to Rhodes just a bit. Before now, Rhodes is getting another push down the back straightaway from Raja Karuth in the 71. Rhodes this time gets to the outside of the 17. And we're door to door for the race lead up off of turn 4. As the field enters into the tri-oval. Lane Riggs trying to get a third lane started all the way up on the outside. Ruggiero leads at the start-finish line and headed into turns number 1 and 2. He still led every lap of the race so far. Riggs gets hooked, and around goes Lane Riggs. Up against the fence, Connor Mosack spins down into the grass in turns 1 and 2. Caution flag is out. Second yellow of the race already. Riggs got a piece of the wall, but it actually doesn't look like his truck is severely damaged. Did a great job correcting it enough to not hit head on into the outside wall, or at least hard with the right front of his race truck. Does look like he's got a flat left rear after contact from Mosack. A donut on the 3 of the number 34 of that Loves Ford. Caution again.
He got a good push from behind. You see it just barely hooks him there. That Chandler's into the door of Connor Mosack, then up towards the wall. He did make some pretty good contact. You're right, Wayne.
Chandler's been in the middle of a bunch of action, hasn't he? In that 38 trailer.
It doesn't look like he was swinging.
Look at this contact. That's not enough to. I don't think that's gonna cause any problems with the right side toe or the rear end housing. I think he's gonna be okay.
Let's listen to Lane Riggs radio.
As you will. Three, maybe a little bit to the left. I don't know why we're pushing so hard in the corner. What the hell?
And that was his teammate pushing him that he was talking about in the corner. I'm sure just working together. But now Lane Riggs finds himself
Yikes.
pit road fixing that. Minimal damage, could be a lot worse to your point.
It could be a lot worse, but it's just strange that these first 2 cautions, we're seeing a lot of playoff drivers of any of them getting involved in incidences. Grant Enfinger taken out of the race. Heavy damage to the left front for Ty Majeski. Some damage, it looks like, for the 34. Majeski remains in the race on the lead lap. Lane Riggs will be able to hold on to the lead lap as well. And right to the back where he was at the beginning of the race, where he started 35th. He's getting pushed on that outside lane by his teammate Chandler Smith. Got a little discombobulated and into turn 1. Another wreck. So 2 cautions already in today's race. In the first 20 laps of this opening stage at Talladega Superspeedway. Top half Dustin at the front of the field for the next restart. We'll have Gio Ruggiero in the lead. Corey Heim second. Ben Rhodes third. Caden Honeycutt fourth. Raja Caruth in fifth. And Corey LaJoy in sixth. LaJoy started 18th, so he's been on the move early. Great job by the driver of the 77. He's right there with his teammate, Raja Caruth, along the top 5 spots.
Saquon and the Eagles take on Jefferson and the Vikings. Then Jaden Daniels leads the Commanders against Dak and the Cowboys. It's a huge doubleheader Sunday on Fox. Check for the games in your area.
I never really believed people were more evil until I met Ted. I certainly feel like whiny would. Push defender if that's something like that.
Shifting Bundy, streaming now on Fox Nation. It's the Craftsman Truck Series playoffs now. The survival of the fastest, my friend. And to be champion, you best not look back.
Welcome back to the Love's RV Stop 225. Well, it has already been action-packed, guys. 9 laps to go in stage number 1. Half of the playoff field has already had damage today, including Grant Enfinger. Got the 19. Daniel Hemrick actually had damage from the first wreck. He was just on pit road. Lane Riggs, of course, and Ty Majeski with that left front damage. So Gio Ruggiero started on pole. He just came down and pitted with his Tricon Garage teammates to get fuel. You think that's a little strategy play to make it to the end of stage 2?
I think they all want to, Jamie, get to the end of stage 2, be able to stay out. But this yellow will need to end of stage 1, not to go in stage So there's a lot of strategy moves being played out here, along with a lot of damage being fixed. I think Kmart has a little more information on Lane Riggs and his damage.
Yeah, I was listening into the diligent prompts from his crew chief to the team, trying to tell them how to make the repairs, telling them to look over the splitter and everything else. And he said, make sure you can tell me if it's getting a little bit darty. And Lane Riggs said, I can't tell right now because I haven't been in clean air yet. But he did mention the crush panel feels like it is loose. So they are intending to come down once again and give another once over on that 34.
Wow, Brad, just an amazing job of minimizing the damage.
Oh, that should have been way worse, Michael.
That
Oh
truck
my
was
gosh.
out of control and he hung on to it somehow.
Yeah, it's impressive that they're still in contention to even be on the racetrack, let alone maybe even get a great finish on this still. We'll see a lot still to happen here at Talladega.
See the 34 Lane Riggs.
Fill the gas, it looks like. Take the left front tire off and take a look at this crush panel, I would guess. I'm having a hard time getting the left front tire off. What that tells me is there's pretty good damage to the door and the fender area to keep that tire kind of trapped in.
Well, Brad, you can see the tire mark right there on that truck. And that tire mark means that fender's been squeezed in. And you know how tight these tolerances are anyway. Sometimes when the truck's pristine, they jack it up and they can't barely get on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what we would call a donut. It's not as tasty as the normal kind, but fun to look at.
that looks like Talladega up there. It's right there. Perfect picture. That loves travel stop Ford pulling out of pit road. He can race on. That was a big break for him.
I believe you could get donuts at Love's. I've stopped at one or two.
Love loves.
Good plug there, Brad.
They have
Doesn't
nice,
love.
real love. They got a nice animal turnout. You're traveling with your dogs. They have everything at Love's.
David Rudman used to love love.
I think I've seen that commercial.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are loving getting back to action. Maybe not so much the crew chiefs or the fabricators back home. Think at their race shops right now.
What about Lane Riggs? He said, what we doing pushing so hard? That's just what we do. We talked about how short these stages are and how important it is to
Have
grab
to
those
go.
points.
Yes, yeah.
But man, it's so easy for a push to go wrong.
Well, you know, when you talk about pushing, everybody loves a push until it causes a crash.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
every one of these drivers has got their arm up, waving, push me, push me, push me. And then you push them too hard, crash, and you know what they say, Michael? Why'd you push me so hard?
That didn't go right at all.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. But that's just part of the game here at Daytona Talladega.
Guys, look who the control truck is. It's Corey Heim. He's now led 24 straight races. That's every race run this year.
Wow.
Corey Heim, that 11 truck. That's Raja.
Granted, these are going to be laps led under caution because his teammate Giro actually hit the pits from the lead. He'll be at the back of the pack now. Green flag back in the air for Heim, who tries to go for his 11th win of the season. Stage win would just be for merit at this point because he's not racing for anything these next 2 weeks outside of just trying to rack up the career win total and the season win total with being locked into the championship 4 already. But a racer's going to race, and that's what Corey Heim is doing this afternoon. And he's doing it from the front of the pack. Raja Kurth from third moves to the outside, but he doesn't have a lot of help. We'll see if he gets picked up in the draft by the second driver in line on the top, which is his teammates of Corey LaJoie and J.J. Yaley, who is driving the 7 for Spire Motorsports. So 1, 2, and 3 up on the top is Spire Motorsports. Corey Heim in the Toyota leads the bottom. No manufacturer lines on the inside. In fact, Toyota, Ford, then Chevy, the front 3 trucks. Lane Riggs to the outside 3 wide, trying to pick up all the spots lost after the spin to see if he can get back up inside the top 10 and get some sort of stage points here in stage 1. Picked up a few positions, already up to 17th with just 6 laps to go as that pay window is open for those top 10 positions. 3 wide just outside the top 10 through the rest of the lead pack. Corey LaJoie is trying to push the 71 of Caruth forward. Same for Ben Rhodes on the bottom with the 11 truck of Corey Heim. Run is dissipating just a bit by the trio, now foursome of trucks up on the high side of the racetrack. And Daniel Hemrick is now leading that group, and ever since he pulled up in front, they have been going backwards. Front lead pack starting to get away just a bit with about those top 14 positions or so. 5 laps left for Corey Heim in this opening stage. Caruth trying to get all the points he can get. And here's Grant Enfinger, who just exited the infield care center. He's with Todd Bodine.
Yeah, I definitely didn't even get good and started. Felt like I got up there in that outside line. I was hoping for a square push, and I don't know, Chandler got jacked up from behind and just didn't hit me square or whatever. And I bounced off the guy on the inside and thought I had it saved, and then Chandler was so good position. Just one of those Talladega deals. I love this place, but they just didn't love it back. Appreciate all I got with CRZ Motorsports and sticking in there and digging hard. Trying to get it back out there, just wouldn't hold oil, wouldn't hold water. So our job's pretty simple. I'm already going next week.
Trying that figure must-win situation going to Martinsville.
Not something you want to be when you have no wins on the season, which is, again, Grant Enfinger must-win situation potentially next weekend. That is going to depend on how the rest of this race unfolds. And the reason why I say that is because with the issues we've already seen with playoff drivers, if we get more playoff drivers to have problems, then Grant Enfinger might not be below the cut line by much. He might be right at the cut line. The worst thing for Grant is the fact that this issue for him happened on lap 3 well before the end of stage 1. So he couldn't get any stage points, at least for some of these drivers. If they get involved in a later incident, they can try to get the stage points first. Up off the exit of turn 4, 3 laps to go now. This time by for our race leader, Heim, who stayed glued to that double yellow line. It's been going well for him. Bill Raja Caruth with a huge head of steam in the tri-oval. Great shot by the 77 of LaJoie, and Caruth will lead his first lap of the race and chooses the bottom lane in front of Heim. 71 is the only Spire truck in the drivers' playoffs. And the 07, who was in the owners' playoffs, was eliminated after the round of 10, which got transferred, I believe, to the 7, which is being driven by Yaley today. Lane Riggs up in front of his teammate Chandler Smith on the high side 3 wide. Last time this push did not go well through 1 and 2. We'll see if Riggs can get forward. He's got a slight bit of left side damage. But I think the big thing as to why they're not really making headway is because they don't have enough trucks up there. Corey Heim pushing the 71 of Raja Caruth out ahead. Corey not running for stage points here. I wonder if he actually tries to make a move on Caruth in these final 2 laps of the stage, or does he just try to keep some track position and hold on for second? Could potentially be boxed in as well, with more Spire trucks working their way to the outside. Corey LaJoie up above the 71 and the 11 this time down the backstretch until Corey Heim pushes the 71 clear into turn 3 yet again. Mosak to the outside 3 wide, but he's going to be going straight backwards. Chandler Smith moved up behind him, but they couldn't go anywhere. Lane Riggs actually is the 5th car in line now on the top. 2nd line, at least, from the bottom. So he has a shot to get some sort of stage points. 1 lap to go in stage 1 for Caruth. The 1-time winner this season, the 2-time winner in his Truck Series career, Raja Caruth, trying to win stage 1 here today at Talladega. Half a lap to go. I would imagine the 7 and the 77 are going to do what they can to try to get the 7 the stage win. I'd be shocked if Corey LaJoie steals this away from Caruth. And I'd also be shocked that the 11 tries to make a move knowing he's not racing for much. Up off the exit of turn 4 this time, 77 all sorts of out of the gas with J.J. Yaley trying to push him up off the exit of turn 4. They've broken up just a little bit, enough so that Lane Riggs will move out trying to get a couple points at the end of the stage, 4 wide through the tri-oval towards 10th, while Caruth does hold on in front. And Raja Caruth takes stage 1 here today at Talladega. Riggs trying to make that move for points at the end of the stage didn't pan out for him. He ended up 12th. 5 playoff drivers finished inside the top 10. 3 did not. And the 3 that didn't were Riggs in 12th, and then the 2 in the early wreck at lap 3 of Grant Enfinger, who's out of the race, and Ty Majeski, who's 34th, last truck on the lead lap and could not keep up with the lead draft. So early problems for the defending series champion and veterans of the Truck Series, Majeski and Enfinger, in this opening stage. Justin B. Saw, welcome to the stream. 1-2 finish for Spire Motorsports in the stage. 1, 2, and 4 in the top 5. with Roger Carruth first, Corey LaJoie second, Corey Hyman third, then Ben Rhodes fourth, and J.J. Yaley fifth. Caden Honeycutt ended up sixth in the stage, Tyler Ankrum seventh, Dawson Sutton eighth, Gio Ruggiero ninth, and Daniel Hemrick rounds out the top 10. Lot of racing still to go here from Talladega Superspeedway. You're listening live on KRC. We'll take our first break of the stream as we're about a quarter of the way home in today's race. Up to 23 likes on the stream now. Just over 50 of you concurrently watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content like this every NASCAR race weekend for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying. No practice this weekend for the top 3 series. Our next live commentary stream will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and we will be live for Cup Series qualifying. Again, 1:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon will be our next live commentary stream. Xfinity racing tomorrow evening at 4 p.m. Eastern, same start time as we have for the truck race today. And our start time on Sunday for the NASCAR Cup race, our main event of the weekend, will be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Same start that we have for the Cup qualifying tomorrow as well. Start times are listed in the community tab. I did put that post out last night, and that is just a follow-up on that for the rest of the weekend. I will have various NASCAR 25 streams out for tomorrow and Sunday as well. I actually did Bristol earlier today, got a top 10 on our Kyle Busch season, 9th place run. Pretty solid. Still sitting at just one race win. One race win, one stage win on the season. I had a pretty good feeling with the 2 Spire trucks on the outside. They were going to do what they could to box in the rest of the field and allow for Roger Carruth to win the stage. Trying to be the teammate. Had that been the race for the win, I think Corey LaJoie makes that move, but no sense in him making it here. Going to try to get Roger Carruth all the points he can get. Team player there for LaJoie and Yaley. They come back from commercial. See how this goes. I'd imagine pit road will be open this time. A lot of drivers stayed out trying to go for those stage points, may end up pitting here. Although with the 2 cautions for incident in the opening stage, they should be able to make it on fuel to the end of stage 2 still, which would be lap 40. So we may not actually see a ton of pit stops here. Well, the 52 team is lined up on the wall. Caden Honeycutt was 6th at the end of stage 1. 71 team is there as well. Probably going to see quite a few pit stops. Next question is, will it be mostly fuel only? Or will we see some tires change during a vast majority of the first stops of the day, really? For at least a lot of the front runners at the end of the opening stage. Yep, Carruth going to lead them into the pits. Looked like J.J. Yaley will stay out, so he'll be the leader. But a lot of the top 10 trucks otherwise are in.
Todd, you're up.
Caden Honeycutt, first time driving this 52 at the Speedway. Really likes the way it drives. Says it's just a little bit free, but he wants no changes. Crew Chief Jimmy Villeneuve, kept him on the racetrack. Get those ready.
And now he's going to stay longer.
Caitlin,
Well, Raja Kruth in the middle of your screen took fuel only. He told me one of the areas he was focusing on was not making mistakes on pit roads that plagued him a year ago. Corey Heim in the 11 at the bottom of your screen said that truck a little squirrely. Other than that, I'm fine. Now, the truck chief, Tim Rice, was attempting to fix that issue he was having with his cool suit. If they weren't able to fix it, they're just going to have to keep handing him ice packs throughout the day, guys.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yep.
It's a hot Corey Heim behind that wheel. Two side tires there, filled it up with fuel. We'll line them back up. Stage number 2 is coming up next.
All right, about to get started for the second stage here today for green flag lap purposes. Altogether, we only had 10 green flag laps of the 20 in stage 1 because of the 2 cautions for incident with the lap 3 and lap 9 crash, or crashes. And now the lap 20 stage break also adding to that. 9 laps currently counting have been spent under yellow out of 23. Steve, welcome to the stream. Survival racing, yes, sir. It's the name of the game today. Guaranteed 1 more yellow at the end of stage 2 at lap 40, and I don't think that would be the last, if I had to guess. First of 3 races on the weekend. Coming your way from Talladega Super Speedway. I'll be at Phoenix for the championship in a couple of weeks, so the final set of live commentary streams on the channel for this season will be next week at Martinsville with Truck Xfinity and Cup action all weekend long, Friday through Sunday. Again, live commentary. Final week of it will be next week. There'll be no live commentary streams coming your way from Phoenix because I will be there for the championship weekend. Up to 25 likes. Halfway to our goal of 50. Still in the first half of today's race. So again, thank you all for watching. All right, with the truck staying out of the pits during the caution, J.J. Yaley will now be the leader. Gio Ruggiero in second. Jack Wood third. Lane Riggs fourth. Tanner Gray in fifth. And Luke Fenhouse sixth. Chandler Smith seventh. Brent Holmes eighth. Tony Breidinger up to ninth. 10th is Spencer Boyd. Bailey Curry 11th. Greg Van Alsten 12th. Top 12 all stayed out. Rajah Kurth won the race out of the pits. He's 13th. First on fresh tires. And the most fuel in his race truck as well. In the event of that, shortening up some pit stops either at the end of stage 2 or the end of the race, depending on how cautions may end up laying out the final 60 laps or so of this race.
For other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, it's Jaden Daniels from the Commanders and Cowboys or Packers, Cardinals. Check the local listings for the games in your area. Of course, that's only on Fox. And Michael, on Wednesday, you and Big Brother got together for a great cause. It was so good to see these pictures of you and DW.
And it's our 15th anniversary of the Walford Brothers Charity Championship, giving money to MRO and several other local charities in the Nashville area. Big Brother, he was the star of the show for me. He gave it the old boogity boogity and kicked things off. There's Macy looking on. Just a great event. That was so honored to be able to be part of something so special. The band Terry sang, and I don't know if you've seen them lately, but wow, they get with it.
Great time was had by all. Just glad to see all DW.
I see both of you together smiling and happy brothers.
It made my heart. It made my day. Made my heart. And just to see how happy he was to be there and be a part of it, and can't wait to do it again next year, huh?
No doubt. So I mentioned playoff drivers with issues today. I mean, there's been others that aren't even on this list that had minimal damage, but we're caught up. See Grant Enfinger out. He is the worst of all. Daniel Hemrick, work continues on pit road for him. He was able to battle his way up, though. Really impressive, just outside the top 10 in stage number 1. And you see Ty Majeski there, lap 4 wreck, and he's still out there. Let's hear from his crew chief, Todd.
Yeah, here with Joe Shear. Joe, got some damage on the left front. What's the truck like, and how's the driver for Ty?
Well, it's like any other truck with damage. We're doing the best we can to fix it. It's not going to leave. Hopefully we follow. Hopefully it lasts. I'm just hoping right now, we just changed our whole strategy. Now it's survival. Hopefully they wreck a bunch of stuff. We survive. Hannah, we just need to stay in the draft. You know what I mean? Hopefully our bad luck is over with and we get some good luck now. This isn't the day I planned, but anyways, we got to make the best out of it.
I'm a Jess. You make the best out of a bad day, Jamie.
Yeah, man, too many men over the wall on that stop, so he restarts tail end of the longest line.
They needed more men. Jamie, they're working that thing over, but I like what he said, and I thought that earlier. We can't win, we're not going to lead, but we can run second, and that's got to be their goal. Stay in the draft, hopefully be there when it all matters.
I love the honesty of Joe Shear. Like, we're probably not going to win this race, but I'm hoping a lot of other people wreck. I like that he's honest about that.
I think we've all hoped that at times before. We just didn't say it out loud, right?
Say it out loud, but Joe said it, and I appreciate that about Joe.
Love it. Well, top 10 stayed out there as we get ready to kick off stage number 2 officially. JJ Yaley stayed out. He's in the 7th truck on the inside. It's Gio Ruggiero on the outside. Starting today on pole. Green flag in the air once again.
Nice jump on the outside. Gio got the gas down.
Lane Briggs with a great push.
Look at Lane Briggs.
We're not busy. He's got a lot of fight.
That's going to be a big shove, too. Look at how well they're tied together on that outside. Luke Fenhouse with a very nice push.
Lane Briggs, lap number 4.
22 trucks are going to here down to the bottom lane, going to cover that shorter distance route.
I like that. I think that's the way he controls race down there on the bottom.
I do. I like that for the trucks for sure, because you can see it's not a guarantee that second lane will get the energy to move.
Lane Briggs, guys, running second. Lap number 10. He was around with damage, came down pit road multiple times. Here he is, still come on.
That truck is winning the race. Unlike, yes, the 98 Majeski, this truck can win. It's not enough damage to keep him from leading this race. Look at that big move to the top by Chandler Smith. Will anyone go with him or will we get hung out?
You can see that's the risk right there. Like when you make that move, if nobody goes with you, he's going to go back a long ways. Oh, just leading positions right here. 2 rows, 3 rows. Every one of those rows, 2 spots. By the time he comes up with turn 4, he's going to lose almost 20 spots.
Well, we talked about it. You make a move and you say, all right, well, that didn't work. You want to make sure that next time you don't make a mistake like that. You can fight on, and I guarantee you we're going to hear more from Chandler Smith before this day's over.
Chandler Smith was running about the 4th to 5th position last time by himself. It's fine. This time by school, let's see where's he come back. It's outside on our tracker. He's all the way back to 24. That's a big fall, and that's the risk of making both leads at Talladega.
And Brad, you know this, but that camera's on top of the roof of this truck. That driver, Dr. 3, is down lower than that. You can only see what's straight ahead of you. You can't really see through the trucks to see what else is out there. So that's why this drafting is so difficult. One little bobble, if you're 3 or 4 trucks back, you don't know what happened.
Yeah, you can definitely not see if there's another truck in front of you. Roger Cruz knows he doesn't have a truck in front of him because he's in the 4th position, right? But the guys in the 6th position, the 5th position, they can't see those gaps. And if you put that timing off just a little bit, that's when things get really bad.
Look how tight it is in there. You can see Roger just to the left, working that wheel.
That's Luke Fenhouse out his windshield. Ask you, Brad, what is that like? This is his first time ever seeing this place, and here he's fighting for the lead.
It's very nerve-wracking. Right now, his hands are gripped as tightly on the steering wheel as they can be. I can promise you that, because those trucks are moving all over the place, and you're just trying to hold on to this thing.
Raja Caruth's second truck on the outside. Let's get an update. Caitlin.
Yeah, well, I had a chance to talk to Raja earlier about racing here in Talladega. And I know drivers dread coming to this track, but I have always welcomed the challenges of racing here. And he said, actually, I loved watching all the highlights from Jeff Gordon winning 6 races here, as well as our own Brad Keselowski. He said he learned a lot from watching you, Brad, over the years. And he said, watching those guys have such dominance on this track gave me a newfound appreciation for this style of racing. Jamie?
Wow, look at Healy all over that yellow line. The truck just bobbing around. He likes it down there low, but there's a risk to that, Brad, because there's a transition there to the apron. Your truck will not handle well if you're splitting that.
Yeah, every groove at Talladega has just its own little nuances to it. And the bottom groove, particularly the tri-oval at Talladega, a little less banking. It's got a little lip in it, so if you hook that just wrong, it can really upset your race car.
Been in this sport long enough that most of this field has studied what you have done around this place, the 6-time winner in the Cup Series.
But, and the thing about Talladega and Daytona, both these restrictor plate style racetracks, is that the tactics change. And a lot of times what they do is they come back around. So what worked 15 years ago stops working for a long time and then starts magically working again. So you really have to check the history books.
9 laps to go already here in stage number 2. A heck of a time. Gio Braccio, trouble. Somebody hardened to the wall. Looks like Brett Holmes in the 1 truck.
Pancaked it.
Step away.
Lane Riggs got caught in the middle again. His truck must have got out of whack.
It looked like Lane Riggs came off the bottom of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, and it just stacked the whole field up. Brett Holmes got the bad side of this. Major contact with the inside wall off in turn 2, but that was chaos.
Man, just such a great opportunity for Brett Holmes. And he's doing a superb job. But watch right there. In the middle, Lane Riggs got put there, and it just, like you said, Brad, it just bottled things up.
Let's get another angle here.
He's running 11th. You see, he has to lift and check out a little bit. We're very fortunate only 1 truck got wrecked here. That could have been a huge crash for multiple drivers.
Man, that's a bad break for Brett.
Lane Riggs on pit road. Caution is out for the 4th time for the most recent incident involving that truck right there, Brett Holmes.
8 laps to go in stage 2. Top 10 in the running order has Luke Fenhouse in the lead, Gio Ruggiero in 2nd, Raja Caruth in 3rd, Corey LaJoie 4th, Caden Honeycutt rounds out the top 5 in 5th, and JJ Haley 6th, Tyler Rankrum 7th, Matt Crafton 8th, Tanner Gray 9th, and Connor Mosack rounding out the top 10. 4 cautions so far today, 3 for incident, 1 in stage 2, now 2 of them in stage 1. This caution comes out with 8 laps to go in the stage. 7 lead changes thus far, 32 out of 85 laps complete. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for NASCAR 25, the weekend of Phoenix. It's a couple weeks out yet, so I've got time to try to plan it. I think I'm going to upload some videos, but it's going to be on a Premiere rather than a stream, and I'll try to be in the live chat for that. Maybe leading up to the start of the races throughout the weekend. Just so there's something active on the channel. Yeah, Brett Holmes probably going to be out of the race. Pancaked the left side of his race truck up against the inside wall pretty hard off turn 2. He's able to drive it back into the pits, but quite a bit of damage. Where's Jason M. White? He is 21st. Not bad for that team. Kevin Clark, Frank Powers, welcome into the stream. So Fenhouse for Thor Sport Racing leads Driving part-time this season in the Craftsman Truck Series level. He's sitting for a few races. All pretty much in the 66 ride at ThorSport. And Ruggiero, who started the day on the pole, is in second. Raja Kurth, who won stage 1, is third. Still long ways to go.
And to be champion, you best not look back.
We've got a great replay of this entire sequence of what happened. And you know, Michael, earlier in the race, we highlighted the left front tire rub on the 34 truck. And you saw the donut, you saw all that damage. And here's where it's going to really show up. His left front goes flat. He pushes up the racetrack, stacks everybody up. Fred Holmes gets the bad end of it.
Look at that chaos behind him. Like you said, Brad, you're so lucky. More trucks didn't have issues. But look how tight it is around that left front anyway. And you see the donut we pointed out earlier on the door right there by the 3. That got pushed in. And you can see the front as well getting pushed back. That tire just, it was the slightest of rubs because it ran a lot of laps. But right there, the tire goes down and up the track he goes. And we're really fortunate only one cat had a problem out of that whole mess.
34's got a little more damage. Lane Ridge truck now had to come back down pit road, did a little more damage to the underbody of it. They spent a lot of time on pit road trying to make it better, but his day just got a little bit tougher yet again.
And look at that. You can see right there on that corner of the race truck, he's lost his splitter. Part of it isn't there anymore, and that can cause serious handling issues and speed issues unless he can just stay tucked right in tight to the truck ahead of him.
Lane Riggs and this team, they have had to overcome.
They're having a day, aren't they, Jamie?
They passed more trucks than anybody. They pitted more times than anybody.
Just think how Lane woke up this morning. He was still really good about being at Talladega.
Yes, I did. Well, the day started off with the qualifying issues. Then he's got the different crashes he's been a part of. Flat left front tire that come down, like you said, pit road more than anybody else. But you know what? They're still in this thing. If they can get this thing repaired and able to make a full ride.
I like what's going on now behind the scenes. This truck goes out and makes a lap. That team is coming up with a playbook of how to address this left front and make sure they get the thing sorted around.
See him working really hard on that underbody. That the splitter on these trucks, it is so crucial. I think it's about split right now. Part of it is broken off, and if you don't get that right, this thing will not handle. It won't be fast. It won't do a lot of things right. So,
well, that also could have flopped back into that tire. It caused the flat as well. There's a lot going on right there, and it's all within a couple 300 thou of tolerant.
And now Clayton Riggs is one of the championship favorites. But if he doesn't get out of today with it striking rings on points, he has to go win Martinsville. And I'm not saying he can't win Martinsville, but I think he would rather not have to win Cartersville. So the fight this team is putting up is a big fight. If they get this right, they have a chance to win the championship at Phoenix. If they don't, they might be out the winner.
What 8 drivers are in contention for the championship? We've already seen one today, Brad Enfinger out, and he said, to your point, Brad, I got to go to Martinsville next week. It's a must win.
It's all on the line for these guys right now, all on the line, and they are living in this moment. And if they get it right, they'll have the shot. And if they don't, they're not going to make the Phoenix. And this is one of the championship favorites. We've talked all season long about Corey Heim. But if Corey Heim goes to Phoenix and has a slip, Lane Riggs is the guy everybody's looking at. But none of that matters if he does not transfer through this round. And this could be the defining moment.
Been a tough playoffs for Front Row Motorsports.
In the back of the pack. Meanwhile, we got the first timer here at Talladega. Luke Finhouse leading the field. Gio Ruggiero on the outside. Green flag in the air once again at Talladega Super Speedway. 5 to go in stage number 2.
Have not had a green flag. The good news is we only have 5 laps left in this stage, so there's a good chance, Michael, we can finish this one off.
Can we? We can. Whether we do or not, yet to be seen, because as those stage points loom out there, these pushes and shoves just become more and more aggressive.
Running in a pack like this overall.
That was a big block.
There from Gio Ruggiero. He came down in front of Luke Fenhouse in a 66. Not quite clear. Thankfully, Rajah Caruth let the 66 truck by, so we did not have another yellow. Wow. That was very close.
Got a couple of rookies up front leading this field.
Wow, let's take a look at that one again, Jamie.
Just a lane change that was a Hail Mary, if you ask me, Brad.
Yeah, way too close. And gets away with it only because Rajah Caruth released the second truck there. So you can see it from his outboard. He knows something's not good right here. See how he lifted?
Man.
That just saved a huge winner just there.
Very heads up driving by Rajah Caruth. Seeing what was getting ready to develop, giving him some space.
So Giro Ruggiero with the lead after the aggressive move, a won't move for him, but here comes Rajah Caruth.
Watch it. A nice jump and a dive here. He jumped the side draft on the 66 of Luke Funhouse. Dope. I got the inside. Hardly Giro is going to carry him to the lead. That's textbook drafting moves right there.
Caden Honeycutt, the second truck on the outside, looking for those valuable stage points.
I got to tell you, Rajah looks really good today. Like the moves I'm seeing. This I'm staying out of him. He's already won the first stage. He's in position now to win the second stage. Using really smart moves at the right time.
He's just got to hold his breath for 3 more laps. I mean,
It's a long time at Talladega. It's 2.6 miles.
anything can happen. Even if you're leading the race, you can get the wrong push at the wrong time, and around you go.
Rajah Caruth doing all that he has to do right now. Came into this race 1 point above the cut line.
Just hammer down. He's looking in that rearview mirror more than he is out the windshield, isn't he, Brad?
Absolutely. As the leader, if you kind of drive out the windshield out of your peripheral with your main focus in the mirror, and at 190 mile an hour, that sounds a lot easier than it is to do.
And he does that because if there's a gap that develops behind him, he needs to back up to that truck behind him. You can't get too far ahead or they'll just sweep around you.
Yeah, the energy transfer doesn't work when the gaps get too big. It becomes too much in contact, and you just don't go forward when you get a push.
Caden Honeycutt with a nice run on the outside, just behind Gio Ruggiero.
We're going to clear Rajah. Or are they? Here comes some good run on the bottom. Rajah's right back there.
Back stretch into great.
Pretty settled at the moment. We got to change that. Pretty settled.
Ty Majeski is just lurking at the back of this pack right here. They recovered really well and paying the attention to maybe get a stage point here. But more importantly, his truck seems to have enough speed to keep up with the pass, which is going to be really important for him in this round.
Majeski back there, none of the issues for him, the damage on that truck. Heard from his crew chief. He said, we're just in some.
He's got a long ways to go, but they're in a good position as this thing's going to come down to the line with both lanes pushing really hard right here.
Look how aggressive. Or the joy all over the back of Luke Venhouse.
How things are just a little more organized, but slowly falling apart.
Out. Turn 4, can Rajah Caruth sweep the first 2 stages? He's hanging on, but Gio Ruggiero with the good run on Eagles. Gio Ruggiero picks up stage 2.
Big push from Caden Honeycutt there, Jamie. And that's huge for Caden Honeycutt.
Big points for Caden.
Huge.
It's all about the playoff picture. Gio picks up his second career stage win. He has got his eye on the prize. We'll be back for the third and final stage.
All right. Gio Ruggiero takes stage 2 here today at Talladega. The rookie that started on the pole gets it done. A last lap pass to that of Rajah Caruth who won stage 1, finishes 3rd in the second stage. And as you heard there moments ago, Caden Honeycutt, the highest finishing playoff driver, in 2nd. J.J. Ailey 4th for the 2nd consecutive stage. Luke Fenhouse 5th. And Corey LaJoie in 6th. 7th place was Tyler Ankrum, another playoff driver. Then Connor Mosack 8th, Corey Heim 9th after he was runner-up in stage 1. And Matt Crafton rounds out the top 10 after starting the day inside the top 5. So that is the top 10 at the end of the second stage. We're almost an hour into the race, nearly halfway. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. And subscribe for more NASCAR content as we continue the full race coverage of today's Craftsman truck race at Talladega. Lap 41 of 85. 62 votes for who you think is going to win today's race. Somebody other than Heim, Riggs, or Majeski going to win the poll. Usually, we've come to find out that Corey Heim tends to win the poll more often than not. But with the great equalizer that is drafting style racing, super speedway, restrictor plate racing at Talladega, Corey Heim is not the favorite to win this race anymore. Maybe the favorite amongst other drivers, but not in the same way he would be at a track like the Charlotte Roval, where he won at a couple weeks ago, or maybe even Martinsville, where they're racing at next weekend. 36% of you did take Heim, 11% had Lane Riggs, and Ty Majeski. Only 8% of the votes Majeski got in that lap 3 incident. No stage points for him today, and he's been at the tail end of the lead lap ever since, for the most part. So he is struggling. Quite a bit of damage to the left front fender of his race truck. Daniel Heinrich did not get stage points in stage 2. He was 11th of the playoff drivers. And the only other drivers not to get any stage points there was Lane Riggs and Grant Enfinger. And Majeski, wherever I can find him. I feel like I'm missing him on our leaderboard. Where is he? I can't find him. There he is, 12th. One spot behind Hemrick. I don't know why I kept missing him. Didn't realize Honeycutt was 22. He's old compared to Connor. Yeah, definitely. He's got 3 years on him. With slightly more experience. At least in top 3 level of NASCAR competition, that is. And 6-time Talladega winner Brad Keselowski in the booth. You've heard from him throughout the course of today's race. Michael Waltrip alongside Jamie Little in the Fox booth. Halfway home, 43 laps to go. Lap 43 of the race. Pit road will be open this time by... They're at the edge of the fuel window. In the event of this race going green to the end, I don't think they can make it on fuel. They would need cautions. And if they were willing to stretch it on fuel, even if we get some yellows along the way between now and the checkered flag, if we go past the scheduled distance because of overtime, then the likelihood there of trying to make it on fuel is going to be a lot less if you don't pit during the event of any yellows from here to the finish. Most stage points today goes to Roger Kerr with 18 of them, with a first and third in the stages. Caden Honeycutt, playoff driver, gets 14. 10 for Heim, who's already locked into the championship 4 at Phoenix, and 8 points for Tyler Ankrum. Those were all the drivers who got at least 1 stage point today, only half of them in the playoffs. That ended up getting any sort of stage points. That was stage 1 and stage 2. 8 lead changes. This is our 5th caution of the day. Second stage end, we've had 3 incidences, 2 of them in stage 1 and 1 in stage 2. A lot of racing still to go. It'll become more of a sprint to the finish the closer we get to the end if we keep getting yellows, as this race has played out to have quite a few yellows so far today. Pit road is open.
This opens up the rest of the race to be able to make it on one stop. So, Caitlin, what do you got down there?
Well, it's been a very respectable day for the 66, and Luke Fenhaus hasn't raced a truck since Richmond. Right now, he's saying it's a little free, but don't touch it, Todd.
Gerald hasn't said a word on the radio. He likes his truck. Crew Chief Jerry Donnelly, going with the tire panel and no fuel holding in the middle of third stage.
Raja Farouk picked up points in both stages. Eddie DeHaan, spotter, saying you're doing a great job. You're very sharp today. It's all about understanding the players around you. He's off the road, baby.
Gio Ruggiero wins the race out of the pits, it looked like. No, actually had a couple drivers go fuel only. Fox's leaderboard showing Chandler Smith winning the race out of the pits. Gio Ruggiero who won the second stage, lost 6 positions. He wasn't even first out of the pits of those that actually did take tires. So fuel only for Chandler Smith. He's going to lead for the first time this afternoon. And we'll see how this is going to play out to the finish. Nope, no cutoff. That will be next week at Martinsville. Second race out of 3 in the round of 8. Might have had a couple drivers outright stay out of the pits who pitted during the late caution in stage 2. So the top 9 trucks all stayed out. And then 10th place of Chandler Smith, who went fuel only, is in 10th. Corey LaJoie, first on fresh tires, is 11th. So we shake up the running order again. 32 of the 36 trucks that started today's race are on the lead lap. Jake Garcia, lap down. Norm Benning, 2 laps down. 3 for Brett Holmes. And Enfinger, the only driver out of the race. I'm surprised that Holmes was able to continue following his crash in stage 2. Time for our diecast showing since we're at the end of the second stage. And today we have a former Talladega winner, Matt Kenseth. This diecast specifically is the car of tomorrow, number 17. And this was from the 2008 season. I figured it was, but thought I'd check. Haven't showed this off on the channel in a minute. Again, former Talladega winner. 2012 fall race winner, Matt Kenseth. The DeWalt paint scheme that he had for the vast majority of his Roush Fenway racing days. Solid scheme. And as you see, yes, it is broken. I bought it that way, though, because I ended up actually only paying $10 for this diecast because it was chipped on the wing. I think it was at $30 originally. I'm like, hey, can I get less because it's chipped? And they're like, yeah, I'll give it to you for $10. I'm like, all right, awesome. I'll take it. Get $20 marked off just for this. The rest of the car looks perfectly fine, and the wing itself is still on the car, so yeah, I'll take it for $10. Todd Bodine, the Onion. Yep. Sun is a shining, few clouds in the sky. Talladega Super Speedway, but a pretty warm weekend altogether in Talladega, Alabama. Tanner Gray, again, will be the leader on the restart. Had a couple drivers who just kind of waited for the main pack to hit pit road. So Ruggiero, Caruth, they're in the back half of the top 10. Chandler Smith cycles up to 3rd. So Smith won the race out of the pits. Kligerman and Tanner Gray stayed out of the pits entirely. Points as they run, Raja Caruth plus 40, plus 26 for Caden Honeycutt, plus 24 points. Last driver above the cut line, Tyler Ankrum. Lane Riggs minus 24, minus 25 for Daniel Hemrick, minus 28 for Ty Majeski, and 36 points below the cut is Grant Enfinger. Again, cutoff race at Martinsville next week. Coming into the race, 2nd through 7th in the playoff standings were only separated by 6 points after the first race of the round at the Charlotte Roval 2 weeks ago. An off week last week at Vegas for the Truck Series. They're back at it this weekend, and obviously no more off weeks the rest of the year as we have just 2 races left after today. Riggs and that 34 team coming back into the pits again, trying to repair damage. That was sustained from an earlier incident. Your experience, Brett, was the nicest of the Bodine brothers? I don't have a Stenhouse diecast in general. Haven't been captivated enough by any of his schemes to getting a Stenhouse diecast. Not yet, at least. Maybe things change. Maybe they will. All right, here we go. Getting ready for stage number 3. 39 laps to go in the restart. Tanner Gray, again, is the leader. And Parker Kligerman outside of row 1 after they both stayed out of the pits. They're going to have less fuel in their trucks than the rest of the field, but we might be outside the fuel window anyway. We'll see, depending on how many green flag laps we have remaining in this event. Better restart for Kligerman on the outside road than the inside and control truck of Tanner Gray as the field rumbles through turns 1 and 2. Up off the exit of the corner. Kligerman has Corey LaJoie behind him, Chandler Smith, the push truck behind Tanner Gray on the bottom. Third lane trying to form up on the outside of the racetrack. And that is being led by the ThorSport truck of, it looks like, Luke Fenhouse in the 66. Who was leading laps at one point back in stage 2. First green flag lap of the final stage is going to be led at the start-finish line by Tanner Gray, I do believe. 2/1000ths of a second he led that last lap at the start-finish. And now more trucks starting to form in the outside lane behind Fenhouse in the 66. Playoff drivers, both Daniel Hemrick and Lane Riggs, have moved their way up to the top. No stage points today for either Hemrick or Riggs, so that's why they're in a big points deficit. But things are starting to get a little bit testy in the middle of the pack. Things have broken up on the outside of what is now the middle groove of the racetrack, as Kligerman did not get as great of a push from Corey LaJoie and Roger Crute, the Spire trucks behind him. Gray and Smith are clear for the lead. Smith hesitated. It almost looked like he was going to move up in front of Kligerman. Chose not to. Stays consistent with the bottom now into turn 1. A lot of the trucks were moving around in the middle of the pack when getting pushed in the first 2 stages. If we see a lot of that in the final stage, and now with them being 3 wide, will we see more incidents take place in a race that has already featured a decent amount up to this point? 20 laps have been spent under yellow so far of 49 completed laps. Just over 40% of the laps completed have been under yellow. Four trucks are in the top. 3 of them are ThorSport trucks. Rhodes Majeski, the 2 tail end trucks. Couldn't tell exactly who the one was right behind Fenhouse. Kligerman actually moves up in front of Fenhouse up in the outer lane. And now Corey LaJoie and Roger Crute are left in the middle to lead there. But they are going backwards also. LaJoie finds his home on the bottom in front of Corey Heim. Crute is going backwards after scoring the most stage points of any driver. He is well outside the top 10 as they race their way through 3 and 4 yet again. And Crute, all of a sudden, after being in the sucker hole in the middle with no help, is still 3 wide middle and falls back to 16th, tail end of this lead pack. 35 laps to go at the start-finish line for Gray. Definitely a lot of laps left in this race. Side-by-side commercial break currently on the air for Fox on the broadcast. We'll go through the full field running order with 35 to go then. Tanner Gray is our race leader. Chandler Smith in second. Jack Wood in third. Then Connor Mosack fourth. And Dawson Sutton rounding out the top 5 in fifth. Andres Perez is sixth. Tyler Ankrum seventh. Caden Honeycutt eighth. Parker Klickerman ninth. Luke Fenhouse in 10th. 11th is Corey Heim. Luke Fenhouse now back to 12th, it looks like, as our leaderboard has changed a bit. Corey LaJoy at 13th. Lane Riggs 14th. 15th for Daniel Hemrick. Bailey Curry 16th, Roger Cruz 17th, Ben Rhodes 18th, JJ Ailey 19th, and Ty Majeski 20th, Tyler Tomasi 21st, Matt Crafton 22nd, Chris Wright 23rd, Tony Brightinger 24th, Spencer Boyd 25th, and 26th for Matt Mills, Nate the Bird 27th, Frankie Muniz 28th, Jason M. White 29th, and 30th, Josh Reum, Greg Van Olst last car in the lead lap in 31st, Jake Garcia, 32nd, a lap down. 3 laps down for Brett Holmes in 33rd. Caleb Costner, 8 laps down in 34th. Norm Benning, 9 laps down, 35th. And out of the race, 36th. Grant Edfinger, I believe Costner and Benning pulled off the track during the stage 2 break. Lasted a lot longer into this race than they usually do. .33 to go now as they cross the stripe. Bottom lane has definitely been the dominant lane of the racetrack today. Haven't really seen many drivers be able to utilize the middle and upper groove of the racetrack to maybe its full effectiveness. Have to see if that groove is going to widen out at all into the last couple stages. Trouble at the back of the pack. Daniel Hemrick has a lot of damage to the back of his number 19 Chevrolet. As he tries to get back to pit road, it does look like we are still green, at least according to Fox's graphic. Right side and rear bumper damage for Hemrick as he sways his truck back into the pits. Another playoff driver with another incident.
Hemrick had damage, and we saw part of his tire come up on track.
That's what it was.
You back to the Craftsman Truck Series. This is another team, guys. They have had issue after issue.
Heavy damage to the left rear. He got ran into. I think Tony Brightinger hit him while he was slowing with that flat right rear.
Yeah, you see this right rear tire right here has delaminated for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but there's a carcass on the racetrack right now from this tire.
Well, he had damage, and I'm sure the fender just rubbed a hole in that tire and heavy damage.
Big contact.
Tony Brightinger runs right into the back of him, sends him up the track. You see the carcass right there.
Yeah, came rolling off.
So tire coming off of the 19 of Daniel Hemrick, causing an issue under green. Surprisingly, no caution. We saw the tire carcass fall off, rolled to the outside of the racetrack. I'd assume it probably came back down the track and is off the racing line for this race to still stay green. Unfortunately for Tony Brightinger, right square into the back of the 19 with nowhere to go. So an innocent bystander in that crash for the 5 team as well. And we've got pit stops under green going on. Caruth is in.
So this is a big part of this race. How you execute this green flag cycle, critical to your success. Getting a damage, getting a crash, Michael, you could be out of this. But also what you're seeing with Roger Cruz, he did it by himself.
Here they come.
He's got no traffic corners.
Now, there's the pack off turn 4. He's going to lose a lap here, you assume, but everybody will pit. But being by yourself in a truck, especially, really hurts your lap time. He's going to lose seconds upon seconds.
That's he's going to probably lose the main track, but a lot of action on here. Please stop.
Another thing you got to be careful on this last pit stop, Brad. No, you can't make a mistake. This is prime time. You can't make a mistake. Speed or slide through your pit like it did your race.
Or not get enough fuel in it right here. We saw Kate Honeycutt's fuel right there struggle to get it plugged in right.
Right at that point, they're counting you down. How long you need.
Yeah, it's up break for the 52 team after finishing second in stage 2. A lengthy pit stop under green as they had troubles trying to get the fuel can in the race car to try to top off. Race leader and several others coming onto pit row, both front row motorsport Fords of Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs. Looked like a couple of the ThorSport Fords in as well. Majeski and Rhodes.
55 mile an hour in one braking event. It's bumpy. These trucks don't handle that well. They're not made. I think we're going fast.
We got to give it up for those guys, though, pitting right out of that pack. We didn't have any contact so far. Clean and green getting to pit road. Lane Riggs' team looks over that left front. They must be satisfied with it. They don't see the picture Leonard from Don. Maybe he's in a good spot with that fair for them, yes.
Crampton also in his box for House.
The question during these green flag pit stops is going to be who can have the best pit stop amongst drivers that are pitting separately, get organized back up onto the racetrack, and get into a line to get speed quickly after leaving pit road. Rest of the leaders are in this time by.
So the McAnally Hildeman Racing teammates there, Jack Wood goes from the lead into his pit box. Parker Kligerman, Tyler Ankrum.
Counting down the gas that they need in that 70-mile truck. Takes a lot of fuel on that. That meant he had to stop longer.
That's going to cost a lot on the track position. Look at all these other trucks that are going to beat Parker all different.
Tough stop there for Parker Kligerman in the 75 team. Trucks that are already on the racetrack are at speed compared to those on the apron trying to get up to speed on the bottom. Lane Riggs looks like he may take over the race lead. He's circuiting through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they come. Will anybody try to move up and make a block on Riggs? Somebody moving out of line. That's Corey Heim. And the trucks behind him will go with the 11. The 34 hung out to dry, so Riggs will not get to the lead. It'll be the driver who's won 10 times already this season, Corey Heim, trying to fight his way through singular race trucks that are not in line or in any sort of a draft yet. Mosack looking to move wide. Forces the 11 to go even wider. More speed to Corey Heim. Moving up next is Chandler Smith, who is the leader. But this time at the start-finish line, Corey Heim to the outside. Chandler Smith to the bottom now to cover everybody. A risky move by the 38 panned out in the sense that there wasn't a wreck. But still, it was Corey Heim, the other Corey, in the field who was able to get to the race lead. And now Heim lane changes back and forth, top to bottom, just trying to get momentum back. Stays on the bottom for now. Back to the outside on the back straightaway, still 26.5 laps to go. Lot of time left yet in this race. Side by side from third on back with Chandler Smith and I believe Ben Rhodes in the 99. ThorSport Racing as a team has not won yet this season. Only one of their trucks made the playoffs. That was Ty Majeski. Majeski, after no stage points today, with damage to the left front fender, is in the draft. Fourth truck on the inside line as he runs right around the 6th or 7th place position. Following the cycling of green flag pit stops, Nathan Bird is still the leader as he has not hit pit road yet in the 02 truck. And once that Young's Motorsport team comes onto pit road, then that will give the lead to those in this giant pack, which will then be at the front of the field. Deborah Carollo, welcome to the stream. Tony Breidinger is the name of the woman in the field today. Heim no longer single file for the lead. Ben Rhodes is going to get to his outside through the tri-oval. The two-time truck champion Ben Rhodes, with a disappointing season so far, trying to rewrite the wrong with a win today at Talladega Superspeedway. Lead pack made up of about 15 trucks after the green flag pit stops that are all in the race for the win. If it stays green to the end, they can settle it amongst themselves. In the event of a caution, we'll bring more drivers back into it again who weren't able to keep up with these 15 in a respected line to get to speed following those green flag pit stops, which already took place early in the stage. Crisscrossing lines now. Rhodes lost the race lead to Gio Ruggiero, who has probably been the most aggressive driver of any today. Going from the outside of row 2 to the inside of row 1, right in front of his teammate Corey Heim. And the Tricon Grudge trucks are right where they were at the beginning of the day, where it was Ruggiero who qualified on the pole, Heim who started third, pushing each other 1-2. Ruggiero off that double yellow line, crowds the 99 through 1 and 2, holds on to the race lead. Nathan Bird still on the track, is scored as the leader, but only 4.9 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. He's got a damaged truck. It looks like Dawson Sutton right in front of him that he's trying to draft off of. Actually, no, it's not Sutton. Not sure who that is right in front of him. Wait to see the number. It's the 2. So the 0-2 of Bird getting a draft off the 2 of Josh Reum, who's in 28th at the tail end of the lead lap. Top 5 this time by with Bird in the lead, Ruggiero in second, Corey Hyman third, Rhodes fourth, Fenhouse fifth. To the outside goes Ruggiero off the bottom. He'll get by the lap truck of the 2 as well as the race leader at the time, the 0-2. And Ruggiero's back to the point where he finished at the end of stage 2. Contact Chandler Smith into the left rear quarter panel of Corey LaJoie. Great save by LaJoie in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Barely kept from wrecking. That stalled out the middle and upper groove of the racetrack, and now it's a 5-truck breakaway out of the tri-oval. And it's Ruggiero, Heim, Rhodes, Tanner Gray, and Fenhouse now in that top 5. And 2 by 2 from 6th on back as they are losing time. The more they battle, the more they side draft with one another. Ruggiero is currently led for 23 laps so far today. With 22 laps to go, still a long ways from the checker. To the exit of turn 4. Lab truck on the bottom, getting pushed by lead lap trucks. The 2 hops out of line into the tri-oval and into the apron. Everybody evades. That could have been a near incident. And now there is an incident. It looks like further back. And a big fire for the 6 of Norm Benning, who is on track a few laps down. Major flames coming out of Benning's race truck as he is trying to crawl out. Get out of there, Norm. Back of the truck is still burning. He is getting out. A little slow.
Getting him stopped. You see the NASCAR safety team got to him very quickly here. They're going to help Norm get out. Just a little bit of fire flashing back out.
Put that fire out.
That was bad for a second there, guys.
Norm Benning from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 73 years old. He's doing it because this is just what he loves. He's not going away. Just a scary scene for him.
Hope he's okay. That was a lot of flames and fumes that he inhaled.
Ambulance is there pretty quickly. See, they're tending to him.
He was able to get out of the truck on his own under the door, which is a great sign. And they are attending to Norm. Scary. Anytime there's fire involved.
That was a big one, too.
Fire looks similar to Jordan Anderson's a couple of years ago here at Talladega.
They were there quickly, so was the ambulance. As you see, they are ready to load him up and take him to the infield care center.
So Norm's okay. Here you can see it kind of as it unfolded. Little smoke first and then a big fire. Usually that's an oil fire when the bottom of the engine breaks. It's going to burn through all the oil on the bottom end of the engine.
And just tremendous heat right there. You see the flames inside of the truck.
Yeah, in the cockpit.
Right through the shifter area. There's a little pad that absorbs fire retardant, but that's a lot of fire.
Got her stopped in a hurry. That was a good sign.
Why they continue to tend to Norm Benning. We'll step aside.
Benning did get out of the car under his own power and then laid down outside of the race car. 20 laps to go at Talladega as we're under caution for the 6th time today and our first time in stage 3. Big fire, big flames. Benny was on the racetrack 9 laps down. And I believe was actually in the garage area for a bit of time earlier. Back out on the track. I'm not sure if it had anything to do with the issues that transpired in this fire happening or not. But a scary scene. Out, yes. I'm going to hold off on saying safe until we get further word from either the booth or video footage showing that Benning is going to be okay. Bond 1771, thanks for tuning in. Wish the race was a little later. Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern, definitely an early start time. 3 p.m. local time. They probably could have gotten away with starting this race about an hour later. About 4 hours of daylight from the start. About an hour and a half in, but only 20 to go. Still under caution following the major fire in turns 1 and 2 for Norm Benning. Under the caution flag, Giro leads. Corey Hyman second, Ben Rhodes third, Tanner Gray fourth, and Luke Benthouse in fifth. Sixth place is Corey LaJoy, J.J. Ailey 7, Chandler Smith 8, Jack Wood 9th, and Ty Majeski is in 10.
Strong with big noon. Explosive duo Bryce Underwood and Justice Haynes lead Michigan against Washington at the Big House. It all starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff live from Provo, Utah. Then it's Washington, Michigan. It's only on Fox. And we welcome you back here to Talladega. We're under caution for the 6th time today for that big fire with Norm Benning. Meanwhile, Daniel Hemrick, guys, we documented that damage on the right and the left side of his truck. It's too much to continue. Another playoff contender is out of this one.
Disappointing for Daniel for sure. He was in position at multiple times a day, and things just didn't go his way. As we see some pit stops here.
Yeah, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, also Tyler Ankrum all come to pit road, and some other trucks as well.
Maybe surprised by this.
Yeah, maybe, well, not with Lane, with his issues. Maybe they want to check and make sure everything's good on that left front again. And do you put on a set of tires since you're losing your track position?
Yeah, Chandler Smith looked like he's put out 4 tires. So with Lane Riggs here. Tyler Ankrum, he's putting out at least right sides.
Yeah, I like this. Why not? I mean, if you're going to come to pit road, you might as well have those tires. I know it doesn't make much of a difference here at Talladega, Brandon. You're really juking and jiving in the draft trying to make ground. Just that confidence that your tires are fresher maybe helps a little bit.
So Raja Karuth, another one of those that came down pit road.
Raja had lost the draft, so this caution was timely for him to get back in the game. Lane was checking his toe. He must not like the way that thing's driving necessarily.
I think when they made contact with the wall, I heard some comments him saying that the steering still differently. Maybe that's part of his tire wears issues with the left front as well.
I think they checked it and said, we're okay.
A lot of hustle to try to get him back out there.
So there's some more relief.
One more time here.
More relief. See, you can see the shininess on the crew member was checking out that Goodyear tire right there on the wall. You can see the shininess on it where it had been rubbing a bit.
So they did load up Norm Benning in the back of the ambulance. As soon as we have an update, we will certainly get it to you, but a very scary moment.
Very scary. You see that the jet dryer's out on the racetrack. A lot of oil was put down. They're going to cover that with some heated later or oil dry and blow it off. So we got a few minutes here of cleanup. A lot of work for the track crew here.
Yeah, we're talking the speeds upwards of 190 miles an hour. You've got to make sure the surface is perfectly ready for racing to resume.
Well, it has been an unbelievably difficult day for Lane Riggs and his team. Let's hear from his crew chief, Caitlin.
Yeah, Jamie, to your point, it's been all hands on deck all day for this team. Dylan Capella, the crew chief. You guys have had to do a little bit of everything, and now, how do you feel about this final stint for the 34 going to the finish?
It's been a long day. I feel like definitely the longest race we've run all year. But we're just trying to stay in it, trying to cross all the T's, dot all of our I's, try and keep tires on it, and just give them a shot here at the end just to salvage and get finished. We don't need anything crazy. We're just trying to get to the end of this thing. So, been doing a good job, making some good moves, and he's still learning on these speedways here. So, we're just going to get to the end, see what it holds for us or at the end of these 85 laps.
Good luck to you the rest of the way. It's been a battle of attrition for this 34 team here today, Jamie.
It has. He said, hoping we don't get any crazy. I think they've already had that. They can check that one off the list. But he's still digging. Now we've got a couple of championship drivers who are not. They're out today. That's Grant Enfinger and Daniel Hemrick just drove it back to the garage. So just an update on that left side pylon. If you're just joining us in green, that's Corey Heim. That means he has advanced to the championship round at Phoenix. And the drivers highlighted in yellow, those are championship contenders hoping to punch their ticket.
There was a big yellow box with all of Lane Riggs' issues today that we saw there, and it started when he went to go qualify, and the team made a unapproved adjustment, stood on the splitter in NASCAR's eyes, and didn't allow them to qualify, and then just avoided. I mean, did such a fantastic job of keeping that truck under control and keeping it in contention when he was involved in that big near wreck.
Yeah, the composure you have to have right now for Lane Riggs is very high. This team's being tested for all the resiliency they have. Great team. They're a championship threat if they can get there, but they have to survive this round. And Talladega is throwing everything it can throw at them.
Meanwhile, up front, Gio Ruggiero, this is the most laps he has ever led in a race. He's led 28 and counting, and he could lock up Rookie of the Year by the end of this one, guys, and deservedly so. It's been an incredible run for this rookie.
And if you're worried his position, he's got a teammate right behind him too. The Tricon Garage, 11 and 17 are teammates, so trying to make that count as well.
And then there's Tanner Gray lurking as well, separated by Ben Rhodes. If you're worried about Corey Heim, has he led any laps yet? Yes, he has. Led laps again this week. That makes every one of them so far. He's got 11 laps in the lead and still in contention to win this race.
He's led in all 23 races this year, Brad.
Quite an impressive stat to just be in contention, let alone all the wins, the laps led, the top fives, the top 10. This guy is he's got so many stickers, win stickers on his roof that they didn't have enough room, so they're double stacking them now.
And they're on the other side, the passenger side.
If that was a hashtag, that one would be called winning problems.
You know what? Another great stat is out of all three of the top series of NASCAR, he is the only racer without a DNF in 2025. None.
Michael, how are you going to say that? This guy, we have 15 laps to go at Talladega. Too soon, Michael, too soon. If something happens to this poor guy, we're all pointing a finger at you, Michael.
Well, I'm going to point it at Joe because he just told me this.
Statistician over here is giving some great stats, but that's not the one I want to hear right now on Corey Heim.
Well, he didn't hear me. He won't know.
It's called the announcer's curse if I've ever heard one, but Corey's done a great job. You can't take anything away from him for sure, but there is a lot of laps left at Talladega. We still have not made it very far in green flag laps run, and I have a suspicion that this race will not go green flag to the end of the next 15 laps.
I don't think so either, Brad.
I think we're going to see more caution, more action, more drama.
There is a sunset rule here, so.
It will start to get dark. You can see the sun setting off of turn 4. It'll start to get dark in the next half hour, so we're hopeful that we can see this all the way through with some great racing.
They were saying about 6:55 would be the darkness rule, that sunset rule, and once it expires, 2 to go. But we don't have to worry about that right now. Plenty more time to get this race in. The pace truck is off. As the leader crosses the line, we've reached our Craftsman. 15 laps to go.
All right, 15 laps left. Gio Ruggiero and Ben Rhodes will be on the front row for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Truck racing at Talladega, spot the championship 4 on the line if a playoff driver other than Corey Heim can break through and get the win. Currently, no playoff drivers outside of Heim in the top 7 spots. Majeski in 8th, the highest in the running order outside of row 4 is Majeski, and he's got his Thor Sport teammates pushing this outside line up ahead out of turn 2. Through the speedy draw in the backstretch after the Norm Benning incident has Ben Rhodes and Luke Fenhouse going down to the inside, blockading the 17 and the 11. So Rhodes is going to lead off in turn 4. It's been a long time since he's won. In the Craftsman Truck Series, he had 1 win a season ago, which took place at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So it's been about a year and a half calendar-wise since this 99 truck has been to victory lane. And with 14 laps to go, can he hold on at Talladega? Corey LaJoie, who has not won a Premier Series race in the top 3 series of NASCAR, is leading the outside with another Thor Sport truck of Ty Majeski just behind him. Majeski with that left front damage. Might have a parachute on that left front fender if he is not able to get his way to the front of a line, and the bear bond looks like it's about ready to blow off in the draft. It's flapping in the wind so much, so definite parachute there. He could probably still be a good push truck behind the 77, although they are starting to lose a little bit of ground. Maybe he's struggling enough so that he can't even get to the bumper of LaJoie to get the push to get this outside lane rolling. Majeski doesn't win. He's going to need all the points he can get with a good finish, and he's maybe losing sight of that quickly. Corey Heim, he's trying to go for an 11th win of the season. Boxed in on the inside. He's in the 4th row, really hoping that Majeski and LaJoie fall back enough that they can't be to the outside of the 11, and then maybe Ruggiero and Heim together would make a move. Second surge of momentum, though, down the back straightaway and really all the way through 1 and 2 by the 98 and the 77. Pulled all the way alongside the leader, Ben Rhodes, for a brief moment, but now Rhodes is clear into 3 and 4. Third lane Foreman on the high side. Yet again, it's the front row Motorsport Fords of Lane Riggs and Chandler Smith trying to get it done. They've tried this a few times earlier, didn't have enough help, or the loose moment that Lane Riggs had in the tri-oval after a bad push from the 38 caused a wreck. Riggs is still in it, and probably going to have to win the race after no stage points today if he's going to want to make it into the next round. He's not out of a shot to win today, but don't want to put all the bread in one basket to try to go after the win in that grandfather's clock a week from today at Martinsville. Riggs and Smith going to have to evade down to the second line on the outside. 4 cars clear into turns 3 and 4. 5, 6 trucks. Outside became a little bit disconnected. LaJoie and Majeski going backwards. Neither of those trucks, as well as those behind him, able to get a move to the bottom. Connor Mosak moves off the bottom to the outside in front of the 77. LaJoie catches him in the tri-oval. He'll give him a push. 11 laps to go this time by. Gio Ruggiero was taking a peek to the outside. He's probably been the most aggressive driver so far today. Mosak out of the second line. Now he's all by himself way up high. Trying to force his way in between Jack Wood and Ty Majeski. Not enough room there. And the rookie continues to go in the wrong direction. Jack Wood now evading to the high side as LaJoie just does not have the right truck behind him trying to give him help. And it's no help whatsoever. Only place they're going is backwards as it's now single file in the top roughly 10 positions. Lane Riggs is in 10th. He was actually able to get all the way to the bottom. I don't know how he did, but he did. He was on the outside 3 wide, was able to get to the inside. Found a hole. And that's where Corey LaJoie is side by side with right now, is that 34. He's got about 8 to 9 trucks in front of him if he's going to want to get all the way back up to the leader. Probably going to need some trucks to move up in front of him, catch a draft off of them, because the 98's not going to be able to get the job done for him. Other drivers dancing around on the bottom groove of the racetrack above the exit of turn 2. Truck's getting a little bit light on corner exit. A lot of dancing around whether bump drafts have happened or not. All the way around the racetrack today. And I wonder if no practice maybe has to do with a lot of these trucks being on maybe the qualifying edge that they had earlier this afternoon. 1-2 for Thor Sport Racing. Tricon Garage is sitting 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then Spire Motorsports on the bottom of J.J. Yaley, maybe trying to move up in front of Corey LaJoy so he can have 2 Spire trucks to the outside. LaJoy has made his way forward just a bit. I'm surprised the 7 didn't try to move up and aid his teammate. Majeski has finally been able to get some decent pushes to the back of Corey LaJoy, and LaJoy is on the outside of Gray now for 5th as they exit turn 4. 8 laps to go this time by at the start-finish line. Majeski and Carruth, the only 2 playoff drivers inside the top 10, outside of Corey Hyman 4th. 3 Tricon Garage trucks right there, but if LaJoy pins any one of them in, they're going to have less momentum to try to move from the bottom to the top and actually try to take down these top 2. And the rookie Fenhouse, who hasn't ran a race since Richmond in August 2 months ago, in that 66 is in 2nd place, trying to break through with a win of his own and cement his name in the Craftsman Truck Series to get that first career win. Of drivers that are inside the top 10 right now, the only drivers who have ever won at the Truck Series level are Ben Rhodes in the lead, Corey Hyman 4th, Raja Carruth in 8th, and Ty Majeski in 10th. 6 of the top 10 have never won a race, including Luke Fenhouse, Gio Ruggiero, Tanner Gray, J.J. Yaley, Dawson Sutton, amongst those names. It's calm right now, but I don't think it's going to be calm for very much longer. When does Ruggiero make the move? He's been very patient so far for a guy who hasn't shown a lot of patience throughout the race so far today. And he's literally got the best guy and the best teammate behind him trying to make the push. Yaley tried to finally move up in front of his teammate in the 77, but it was too late. Somehow was able to get back to the bottom and might have broken apart the inside lane just a bit. And allows for Corey LaJoy now to get alongside the outside of the 11 truck of Corey Heim for 4th. Though he has pulled away from his drafting partner, Ty Majeski, who has to get a big push and big help from Caden Honeycutt. Transfers that push into Corey LaJoy. Center of the trioval, they lost a little bit more ground before that push got to the 77. End of the front stretch into turn 1. LaJoy on the outside of the 5th place truck of Tanner Gray again. Five and a half laps to go this time by. I'll give LaJoy and Majeski credit. They have tried any and all things on that outside amongst the 2 of them, but I don't think it's going to take them. It's going to take probably somebody moving up in front. 98 is just not strong enough with the damage. Nobody else making a move inside the bottom lane of the racetrack. Fenhouse is tight to the back bumper of our leader, Ben Rhodes, pushing him as they cross the start-finish line, maybe trying to keep him in front of the Tricon Garage race trucks. And now J.J. Yaley was finally able to move to the outside in front of LaJoy. LaJoy trying to push the 7 right in the middle of the corner in turns 1 and 2. 7 wiggled, and they went backwards. Now Raja Carruth, another Spire truck in front. Ankrum follows Carruth, both in front of the 7. And Raja Carruth won a stage earlier today, 3rd in stage 2, probably has the race truck to aid the outside. But he lost his help from behind as Yaley gets shifted into the outside lane. I thought that the 71 was going to be the one to try to get forward. And instead they're going backwards after somewhere along the line there. The 7 went wide. Messed everything up in that second line. It's back to the same 2 trucks that were leading it for the majority of this final run. Corey LaJoy and Ty Majeski. And now about the top 7 or 8 trucks are going to be clear on the bottom with 3.5 laps to go down the backstretch. Echo Force Racing, welcome to the stream. And many others, if you're just tuning in for the first time, hit the like button, subscribe for more NASCAR content, live commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend. We're headed down the home stretch. at Talladega. Corey LaJoie got by about 3 trucks down the back straightaway. Gets up to about 4th or 5th, and then he stalls out. This time off of turn 4 down the front stretch. 71 of Caruth is the 3rd truck in line behind Majeski. Gave Majeski a push. Majeski transfers that into LaJoie. Now Majeski bump drafts LaJoie at the end of the front stretch again. How deep into 1 and 2 will he make the push happen? And now he's got the Tricon Garage trucks of Corey Heim and Gio Ruggiero moving up in front of him. And Ruggiero's going to have a run up out of turn 2. Ben Rhodes goes up the block, but Fenhouse could not. What does Ruggiero do as he tries to go for the lead? He gets into the back of Rhodes. A little bit of contact. And as they enter turns 3 and 4, Rhodes tried to crowd him, but he couldn't no longer. And Ruggiero is on the outside. Fenhouse and Rhodes on the bottom versus the Tricon Garage trucks on the high side of Corey Heim and Gio Ruggiero exiting turn 4. 2 laps to go this time by as they get into the tri-oval. Ruggiero maybe trying to side draft that right rear corner panel of Rhodes just a bit. Rhodes gets a big push from the 66. Wiggles, holds on. Same for the 17 up high. Nose to tail, everybody in both of the lanes of the racetrack, side by side all the way through this lead pack. Oh, Rhodes is sideways after a bad push from Fenhouse. Fenhouse is loose as well as they both go around. Caution flag is not out yet. As they run down the back straightaway, now the yellow flag is out. And this will force overtime here at Talladega, our 7th caution of the day. Ruggiero Heim got to the lead in a bad push between Fenhouse, the rookie, and the veteran, Ben Rhodes. Causes a multi-truck spin off of turn 2. Only those 2 were involved. Both flat spotting their tires amidst the spin. Yep, just got into him a little early. Didn't get to the exit of turn 2 yet. That transition from the banking to the straightaway with the contact from behind caused Rhodes' truck to break loose, and we are headed to overtime in the Craftsman Truck Series at Talladega. And all of a sudden, playoff drivers have migrated to the front of the field after being really nowhere inside the top 5 almost the entire stage other than Heim. Caruth is 5th, Majeski 4th. And Lane Riggs is up to 10th. Caden Honeycutt in 9th. All with a spot in the championship 4 on the line. Fake Jimmy Johnson, welcome to the chat. Back for more, I see. As well as many of you guys. 17 lead changes today. Have we seen the last as the rookie Ruggiero leads in trying to get his first career win? His teammate Corey Heim in 2nd. I would imagine those 2 trucks are going to line up 1st and 2nd on the bottom row because they have been that way for a couple of restarts and it's worked well for them every time so far. Can they do it again?
100 foot later, and his truck is able to hold that when they get to the straightaway. But you don't know that until that, unfortunately, an accident happens.
Yeah, off the corner, you talked about the tires being worn out, handling going away, and getting that bump off the corner was just more than the truck would handle. Ben couldn't have done a thing. It didn't matter what he did. He was toast.
Yeah, you know, when you come to Talladega, the teams make choices on how to find speed, and the easiest one to make is to take away all the grip. In exchange for that, get all the speed you can get. The problem is when you're taking a push, you need grip, and they just cross whatever threshold of grip that truck had to offer and around and around.
Well,
NASCAR overtime, boys.
I think
About the fuel.
Yeah, these guys are all really close on fuel. Very, very close. We ran a lot of green flag
that shootout, if the leader take the white flag, the next flag ends the race. But if the vote before that, we have, and they highlighted it in yellow, unlimited attempts. We're going to go at this until dark.
As viewers, we love that. Brad is a driver.
No, if you're leading and they say, "Oh, we're going to do this again," like, no, you got one shot at it. Give me the win. But that's not the rule.
Well, I tell you, as a fan, I think it's fun, but I'm a competitor, and I'm so trying. I'm nervous. You know, I want to see this thing go 2 laps and make the best man win.
And we want to see it end under green. Nobody wants to see a race end under caution. That's their attempt at that. Well, we're kicking things off here this weekend, but plenty more action to come. Xfinity Series qualifying, Cup Series qualifying. Brad Kozlowski.
All right, we'll take a look at the full field running order heading into overtime number 1 as we'll go past our scheduled distance. Remember, this race was supposed to be 9 laps shorter in length. We might end up getting to the original distance that we usually see of 250 miles here at Talladega. It looks like they're adding 5 laps to the finish based off of when the caution came out, coming to 2 to go. And where we stand right now. All right, so Gio Ruggiero leads, Corey Heim is second, Corey LaJoie third, Ty Majeski fourth, Raja Kruthan fifth, then Tanner Gray is sixth, seventh for Dawson Sutton, Tyler Ankrum eighth, Lane Riggs ninth, Caden Honeycutt is 10th, Matt Crafton in 11th, Chris Wright 12th, JJ Ailey 13th, Andres Perez 14th, Chandler Smith 15th, Connor Mosak 16th, Spencer Boyd 17th, Nathan Bird 18th, Frankie Muniz 19th, and Matt Mills is 20th. 21st, Luke Fenhouse after that spin. Jack Wood 22nd, and Ben Rhodes 23rd, also in the spin. Josh Reumann 24th is the first truck a lap down, and Jason M. White 25th. Check that. Greg Van Alst is now 25th, and Jason M. White 26th. Parker Kligerman 27th, Tyler Tomasi 28th, Brett Holmes 29th, and Jake Garcia 30th. Bailey Curry 31st, 32nd, Norm Benning. Tony Breidinger 33rd, Daniel Hemrick 34th, Caleb Costner 35th, and Grant Enfinger 36th. Quite a few DNFs today. 7 cautions, 17 lead changes, 27 laps accounting under the yellow so far. And again, we are going into overtime for this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Talladega. This will be our first attempt. And as you heard on the broadcast during the yellow, in the event of another caution before the race leader gets to the start-finish line, the next flag ends the race. And if they get to the white, then whether the checker or the yellow comes first would be the finish. And under the event of a caution on the final lap, it would be not the timing and scoring loops like in other cautions, but they would freeze the field at the time of caution to dictate the finishing order. Field has not gotten the one to go signal yet.
And by the way, 2 weeks ago, we were at the Roval, Brad.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Race stretch for these drivers.
Be a lot of different disciplines of driving. You got to be good at every one of them to win this championship.
I think my favorite stories of the day so far is the guy running in 4th position, Ty Majeski. All he's been through back at ninth, Lane Riggs, we've talked about that all day. They just overcome adversity. And right now, both of them find themselves within 10 points of the 4th position in points. And currently, Caden Honeycutt holds that spot down. Another guy that's just done a great job all day long getting all he can.
Yeah, 6 playoff drivers in the top 10. This thing's not over yet, though.
Certainly not. Just keep in mind, 6 of the last 7 here at Talladega were won with a last lap pass.
Oh boy.
And we will see it today.
It's a pretty high rate.
It's so strong.
6 of last 7.
He leads him here.
This will be interesting here, Jim. We're going to come to the choose here very quickly. Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim teammates. Do they pick together? Do they split apart?
A lot of conversation going on that radio, isn't there?
Yes. Let's see what's going to happen. So this chooses this orange box right here.
We're staying glued together on the bottom.
Outside lane's going to put the Spire trucks. Be Corey LaJoie, Rajah Carew. Smith rows 1 and 2 in the outside lane. Tanner Gray as well.
Chandler Smith taking the high road. The rest of the field chooses it up here. Man, the hardest meeting. It's going to be incredible. I like one overtime. Let's get back to the white flag and decide who's going to win this race. What do you like, Brad? Top lane, bottom lane? Who's
I
going to
like
win?
Gio Ruggiero in that 17 truck is. He's got the advantage. The Spire trucks have pushed really well. Rajah Carew, Corey LaJoie. This is going to get interesting. Like I always say on Speedway tracks, it's usually the third one in each lane that's going to dictate which lane prevails. So the third truck on the bottom lane, Ty Majeski, the third truck in the top lane, Tanner Gray, how well they're able to stay connected to the front two is probably going to determine the winner of this race.
But look at the third truck on the bottom lane. He's got a mess on his hands.
Yes, sure does.
His clear bond is falling off.
Got a lot of damage.
And we know he's not going to be a truck that can.
All right, well, we're shaping up for the finish of today's race. It is the Talladega NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series playoff race. The Love's RV Stop 225, which is extended past the 225 mile marker en route to the finish. So inside of rows number 1 and 2, Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim, as they've been for a couple of restarts today, working together as teammates. And then LaJoy Majeski. LaJoy Caruth, excuse me, will be on the outside of row 2. Majeski inside of row 3. I'm not sure if that's going to affect those top 2 trucks or not on the restart when they get up to speed. We'll see. Green flag back in the air. Majeski pushing the 11 early before the 17 took off. But once the 17 took off, he was already getting a push from Corey Heim. So he led to the start-finish line. Now into turns 1 and 2, though. LaJoy fighting back on the outside with help from his Spire teammate. Corey LaJoy trying to stay tight to that right rear corner panel of Ruggiero up off the exit of turn 2. Can't side draft anymore. Ruggiero is clear. Does he stay to the bottom or does he go up the block? He's lane changed a few times when leading today. Heim drifts back just a bit. Getting another push from the 98 of Majeski. Transfers that into the rookie Ruggiero. Corey Heim trying to stay on the right rear corner panel of that 17 truck. While he has to wait for a push of his own from Caruth off the exit of turn 4, as he'll be coming to the white flag this time. Final lap. Ruggiero and Heim are clear, and Corey LaJoy side by side for third through the tri-oval to that of the 98 of Majeski. Tricon trying to do it again, but this time it's Ruggiero leading at Talladega, not Corey Heim this time around. Big run at the exit of the front stretch, entering turn 1. LaJoy gets back to the outside of the second place truck of Corey Heim. He side drafts Heim and now trying to get another push down the back straightaway from Caruth. And he'll get that said push. Has to keep a steady wheel. Bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway. Ruggiero, clear of the 11. Hesitated. Thought about moving up. He did not. Momentum is coming for Corey LaJoy. Does Ruggiero move high off turn 4 to try to make a block? Up off the exit of the corner. Another push coming, the 71 to the back of the 77. Corey Heim trying to push his teammate. Now the 71 goes wide. He does not stay with LaJoy. Big run coming, and it's going to be the Tricon Garage duo holding on to win a 1-2 finish for them as Gio Ruggiero wins and Corey Heim finishes second. First career win for Gio Ruggiero from the pole to getting the race win. A solid race all the way around for that 17 team. What a stage, too. Led a lot of laps. 37 laps led, most of any driver today. Won a stage, won a race, got the pole. He was fast from before the drop of the green flag and held on. It was going to be tough for Corey LaJoy to get that run in the tri-oval, but I'm still shocked his teammate went high. The only thought process there is he needs all the points he can get because he's in the playoffs, and he tried to make a move on his own to the outside to try to get by LaJoy, but in doing that, they ended up losing more spots down on the bottom, where Kurt could have probably finished 4th or 5th if he ran in line. Ended up finishing 9th instead, and LaJoy, who was 2nd or 3rd, fell back to 8th. On that final lap, Gio Ruggiero wins by a margin of victory of 0.05 of a second over Corey Heim, his teammate, in 2nd place. What was it, a 1-2-3 finish last week for Tricon Garage? At the Charlotte Roval in the last race where Heim got the win, advanced to the championship 4, and now it's his teammate Gio Ruggiero getting his first career win, and Heim right there in 2nd behind him. We'll go through the rest of the finishing results here. Ruggiero with the win, Heim in 2nd, Ty Majeski 3rd, Dawson Sutton 4th, and Lane Riggs comes back to finish 5th after multiple incidences today. Tyler Rakeham in 6th, Matt Craft in 7th, Corey LaJoy 8th, Roger Crook 9th, and Caden Honeycutt rounds out the top 10. Tanner Gray in 11th, Chris Wright 12th, JJ Yaley 13th, Connor Bosack 14th, and Spencer Boyd 15th. 16th for Ben Rhodes, Andres Perez 17th, Nathan Bird 18th, Matt Mills 19th, and Frankie Muniz in 20th. Jack Wood 21st, Chandler Smith 22nd, and Luke Fenhouse, last truck to finish on the lead lap, in 23rd. Josh Room a lap down in 24th, Greg Van Alst 25th, Parker Kligerman 26th, 27th for Tyler Tomasi, Brett Holmes 28th, Jake Garcia 29th, Jason M. White 30th, Bailey Curry 31st, Norm Benning 32nd, Tony Branger 33rd, Daniel Hemrick 34th, Caleb Costner 35th, and 36th, Grant Enfinger. That rounds out the field. It looks like DNF-wise, we had 6 DNFs today, 7 cautions, 17 lead changes, 29 laps spent under yellow. We went 5 laps past the scheduled distance of 90 laps out of the original scheduled 85 with an overtime run. Only 1 overtime attempt, or elapsed time from drop of the green flag at lap 1 to the end of lap 90, 2 hours and 25 seconds. Stage winners today, Ruggiero in Stage 2. Roger Caruth went on to win Stage 1. They've had a full-screen commercial break ever since Gio Ruggiero crossed the start-finish line with the race win today, so waiting for them to come back so we can get a word from a race winner. Take a brief look at the point standings and what they'll look like going into the elimination race next Friday at Martinsville. Here's Ruggiero on the front stretch at Talladega.
Keep down.
Oh, we missed the burn. Fox missed the burnout live on. Come on, Fox.
See, he's Rookie of the Year as he gets his first career win.
Yes, a very impressive feat for Gio Ruggiero. You are a winner at Talladega in the NASCAR Truck Series. How does that feel?
It feels great. I'm so thankful to be here. Just super thankful for all the guys on the 17 truck. You know, they worked their ass off, and they definitely brought the best piece today. We showed it in qualifying and there throughout the race. We definitely had the fastest piece. So just thanks for everybody at Toyota and everybody who supports me. It's great to win a race with my mom and dad here as well.
Congratulations. Enjoy this one. Gio Ruggiero, the big winner here in Talladega, Todd.
Here with Lane Riggs. Lane, that's a championship run right there. He overcame so many obstacles all day to get a 5th place run.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it was in one piece. I know Chandler gave me a pretty bad push getting in the corner down there. We both wrecked. You know, just so glad that wasn't a day ender. Big thank you to everybody from our motorsports. Started shotgun on the field. Went to the back a few times. Just at there at the end was just trying to be patient, hold that bottom, hoping the top would break up, and it did. So really bummed that we didn't get any stage points. We're not quite in the position we want to be in, but
very impressive run. So Lane Riggs, 6 points.
I would assume they're going to show the point standings on screen. I'll read that off for you guys.
Next weekend is setting up to
Maybe.
be just an epic.
There it is. The graphic was very delayed. Obviously, again, Corey Heim a win at the Charlotte Roval. He's already in the championship 4, plus 14 points above the cut line. Roger Caruth after scoring more stage points than anybody today. Tyler Ankrum ends up with a plus 8 cushion, and Caden Honeycutt, last driver above the cut line, plus 5. Ty Majeski, the defending series champion, at minus 5 points, minus 6 for Lane Riggs, definitely in a tight battle. Minus 32 for Daniel Hemrick, who got in a wreck with no stage points today. And Grant Enfinger, same for him, finishes dead last and also ended up with no stage points. He is minus 40 headed into Martinsville. So most likely a must-win situation for Enfinger and Hemrick. Very tight amongst Caruth through Riggs. 2nd through 6th, nobody is a lock. Only separated by 20 points between those 4 spots. 3 of them will get in, if obviously Daniel Hemrick or Grant Enfinger do not win next week. So thanks all for tuning in. We'll be live for the final truck live commentary stream of the season next week in Martinsville. Again, I'll be at Phoenix for the championship race weekend. We are still live, obviously, all the way through the rest of the weekend for live commentary streams. Tomorrow, NASCAR Cup qualifying at 1:30 p.m. Eastern will be our next live commentary stream. And then we'll be live right after that for Xfinity Series racing at 4 p.m. Eastern. And we will turn that into Sunday with our main event, as we will be live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoon for the NASCAR Cup Series race. Thank you so much. As always, have a good rest of your Friday night, everybody. See you next time.